everyone. Welcome back to Drop Frames. It's Sunday. I've been home for 11 hours. I have no idea what's been happening the last week, so Co has actually opted to host the show this week. Co, take it away.
Nope.
Right on.
Nope. I don't think so.
All right, hello everyone. Welcome to Drop Frames. I've been home about Zeke's actually hosted the show this week. Zeke, take it away.
That too.
I am honored and grateful that you would allow me to take the reins on today's episode.
Did you think this through, JP?
No. This was I thought of this 30 seconds ago. We've been live.
Oh no.
A minute 42. That's when I thought of this. That's when
What
I'm starting to think about it now, though. Yikes.
No, but listen, I actually do have a thing that I wanted to bring up. So in my chat yesterday, we were talking about role-playing games. Now listen.
Okay.
I'm being serious here. There's gonna be no boobies or poop or fart or nothing, okay?
What about bears?
This is actually all video game related, okay? Not bears. We're not talking about bears.
I saw a thing or two about bears over the weekend.
As of yet.
Okay. Oh god. Here we go.
No, I did actually have a kind of, video gamey conversation back and forth with my chat about what makes a role-playing game, like a video game RPG. And I wanted to make a checklist of I guess the top 10 things that I would check off to make it it doesn't have to have all of them, but the more it has, the more I think it fits into the RPG category.
Okay.
So it could be argued that Dark Souls is an RPG, right? Action RPG.
Yeah.
Because you jump into the role of whatever, a maidenless or yeah, exactly, a hollow, whatever.
Yeah.
And you get to customize your character and stuff like that. So we got to discussing what is the most RPG you've ever played, and in my opinion, excuse me, not in my opinion, but in my experience, I guess in my opinion, the most RPG that I ever played would probably be Morrowind or something of the Elder Scrolls variety, because you get to customize your character. That it marks off a lot of check boxes that I would put on an RPG list. You get to customize your character. You get to make your own choices. You have to your choices affect the world. You get to decide how you go about, video games have to have certain encounters and shit like that along the way. But along the way getting there, how many paths are available to you to get there, I think makes it an RPG. Are there tons of different multiple paths? But the converse of that was you jump into a role that is not you. So some people prefer it not to be to be a pre-made character, and you pretend that you are them.
By that definition,
so
though, all
do not
games
serve
are
as
RPGs.
the role.
Yeah.
That is JP, you beat me to it.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
Well, funny enough, here, not only would that make pretty much every game a RPG, but that would mean that one of the facets of the definition of being your own character would then be basically on the opposite spectrum of that. You see what I'm saying? It would because it's either or. It's not really and in a situation like that. So if both of those are in the same genre, then you're basically just saying all games are RPGs, which I think So can I jump in here real quick, Zeke?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So here's the thing.
You never ask me when I'm the host if you can jump in. What the fuck is this, Co?
It's because I respect Zeke. So basically what I'm thinking is no. The reason being is because I didn't know if Zeke was done.
Clip it.
No, I got it.
Right now. You clip that shit right this moment.
So yeah, well, we tell jokes on this show. You know that, Zeke. I don't respect it. Anyway, so
I'll take out of context.
Here's the thing. Games are at this point, when a good way to think about this is the term CRPG. CRPG started as something because it needed a name for what it was. CRPG was computer RPG. That's because most of the RPGs when CRPGs came out were like pen and paper or book based. So they needed a term to define what that is. Now the thing is RPG has kind of grown way outside of where it started. Very similar to the term ARPG. Like ARPGs can be anything from Dark Souls to Diablo to, you know, like tons and tons of things are ARPGs these days that frankly don't have anything to do with each other. In fact, some cases play completely differently. They're still ARPGs. So I feel like that's the same way with the term RPG, because I think you just brought up, funny enough, the exact points of what I'm saying. Take a game like Pillars of Eternity, right? That is a trademark CRPG by both old and new definitions. It follows a huge story with all pre-written characters, a pre-written arc. You have kind of somewhat freedom in terms of where you go and stuff, but everything is like a narrative being told to you. That is an RPG for sure. Divinity Original Sin, same thing. Baldur's Gate 3, same thing. You have origin characters. So you are actually playing the role of a person that has a history, that has its own drives, its own wants. You are jumping into that role. Same vein. Then you have a game like Outward, or you have custom characters in CRPGs where it's like, now you are you. You could put your first name, your last name. You are in that world as you. Outward is a great example. Outward, there's no main story really. In fact, there's like 4 regions and you join a region and then that becomes your main story. You can go wherever you want, whenever you want. There's basically no predefined narrative until you like join a thing. And then even then the order is all up to you. So at this point, RPG is like a bucket term. It's a bucket term of a ton of different mechanics that have now been cherry picked even by other genres. So like, you know, RPGs have stats. Well, so does Gran Turismo. RPG has stories and deep stories. That was some of the best action games that don't have stats have those, that you would never qualify as an RPG. You know, all these pretty much you could define an RPG as a container or a bucket of different traits. But even then, some of those traits are going to be completely opposite, like make your own story or follow an established narrative. And yeah, somebody just said GTA has great stories and a main story. Absolutely right. And I mean, some people would argue GTA is an RPG, funny enough. So it's kind of like when you define RPG, and I'm getting to a point, don't worry. When you define RPG, the point that I'm making is that it's always based on the perspective of what that person wants from their RPGs and what they enjoy most about them. It has become a personal term instead of a global term, which unfortunately is the way of a lot of genres these days. Like some genres have predefined boundaries, like fighting game, racing game, but you start getting a lot murkier when you start picking things like RPG, action game, action RPG. You know, like those become real gray. So I would say like there are RPGs, for instance, that don't use any stats. Like when someone says RPG, one of the first things I think of is, oh, well, stats, obviously. Well, there's some RPGs that don't use stats at all. So it's kind of like, you know, it's very much going to be based on the person who's asking the question and what they expect from that term.
Yeah. And that's kind of why, like, I wanted to make like a checklist. I'm not the checklist to like definitively say something is an RPG, just the checklist of like the 10 main things that, how deep is your RPG? Like, how deep can you role play? Which is what, you know, role playing game.
Right.
This whole conversation came up, and JP, like, you might want to, or you could probably chime in on this, because I said the topic of Final Fantasy 16 came up, and I said it's barely a role playing game anymore. Like Final Fantasy 16, to me, does not feel like a role playing game. As much like there's certain aspects, sure, that are RPG like, but like games that have come before it, the Final Fantasies that have come before it, but also like I made that you know, I made the comparison to Dark Souls. Like Dark Souls is more of an RPG than this is, than Final Fantasy 16, and we had a back and forth about that because, and that's how this topic came up. Like, well, what things does a game have to make it an RPG for you? And I was like, you know what? That's a good question.
And Final Fantasy 16 is a perfect example. because I'm actually in your boat. Final Fantasy 16 for me is an ARPG. It's not a JRPG. It's not a traditional RPG. Final Fantasy 16 is an action RPG. I'd also argue maybe something like Devil May Cry in some ways is an action RPG. And its borders kind of actiony. And in the same vein, like you take the older games, and it's easy and quick to be able to define those. Kind of gets murkier as you go through the Final Fantasy timeline, especially as you start bringing in ATB and stuff like that. But still, like with Final Fantasy 16, and I talk about this at length in the thoughts video I made for it, they mute the RPG mechanics. They take the volume on those and they turn them down, way, way, way down. Like looting becomes not even a thing by the end of the game. The stats, like your weapons just having 2 stats, like attack and magic. There's no defensive stats outside of like some trinkets and stuff. Like here's your marketing term for you. It is a streamlined experience that focuses the game on the characters, the story, the action combat, that kind of thing. But I would completely agree with you. The thing that I would say during the playthrough was you put Witcher 3 on one side and classic Final Fantasy on the other, and 16 is way more weighted towards Witcher 3. Like way more. Like it's grown away from its roots. There's like an entirely other discussion on if you think that's a good or bad thing. But there's no question that the devs have publicly said and stated they have wanted to do this with the franchise to get it to a more general audience. And that's kind of just where we are. And then it's up to each person to decide, hey, if this is working for me or not.
Yeah. I think God of War kind of not forced their hands, but influenced their hands in shaping what they wanted that game to be. They saw the success of it and saw that it was approachable for, a multitude of fans who are like, we should get one of those into the Final Fantasy mainline series, saga, whatever. That's where they went. So,
and even then, arguably, God of War is
it's deeper,
far more RPG.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say it's deeper.
I mean, completely deeper in terms of almost all the mechanics.
Yeah, and I think that's. I mean, I'm pretty sure Yoshi P is said as such, like that they were very nervous about doing this, and they like alienating the Final Fantasy world that has existed for so long. World being fan base. And so I hope if they do, if 17 or if they do DLC or do something else, like I hope they lean into more of that and iterate on all the systems that already exist in the game and make them better. Better is a weird term. Make them deeper is how I would prefer it. Like make items mean something. Instead of just a stat stick in that.
So basically you're saying you hope they take a step backwards in terms of the direction they're heading.
I guess, yeah. I mean, keep the combat. I think the combat is fantastic. But I think like everything that the RPG aspect of preparing for combat to go into combat, expand on that, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like, give me a better crafting system. Give me, just make all the systems deeper instead of like so short and small. And those are a lot of negative terms. I've enjoyed the game thus far. I don't know where you guys are on it, but I've enjoyed it immensely. I have not finished it yet.
I'll say this is their best-selling Final Fantasy game, I believe, ever. Correct me if I'm wrong there.
Ooh, I don't know. Maybe in terms of time. I don't know.
Help me out here.
7 or 8 was pretty crazy.
It is one of their bestsellers. I think all of us have probably seen this. I know I've seen it a ton, and I know they've seen it. So many people have said 2 things. 1, this is my favorite Final Fantasy. I hear that all the time. And 2, this game got me playing Final Fantasy.
I've seen that a lot, yeah.
All over the place. And I think that's exactly what they were doing with this. That's exactly what they wanted. So to put it bluntly, I'll call it now. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see Final Fantasy head towards just being an action game.
Yeah.
And I think they may do what Ubisoft is doing. I think they may have like a flagship, in lack of a better way of saying this, I think they may have a flagship cash cow, which will be what they're doing with the main franchise. And then I think they're going to have the Final Fantasy VIIs and the rebirths and the games that are for the more kind of we enjoyed the previous stuff more crowd. Kind of like Ubisoft is doing with Mirage and their other guys. Like I if anything, I think they're going to try to do more in both directions. But I would be very pleasantly but very surprised if they were to go back on anything in 16 with the success that it's seen.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we're in for if you don't like the itemization and RPG mechanics of 16, buckle up. Because then I don't know if you're even going to want to play the next one, most likely.
Right. Yeah. Well, I also think that Square Enix would probably point players that want, the Final Fantasy VI style of gameplay to be like, here's Octopath, right? Like we make those games still.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe they're gonna fan that out to like other franchises and other areas.
And did you finish Octopath 2, by the way?
No.
Okay.
I had a lot more fun in 2 than I did 1. I felt like almost everything about it was better. But I did get to a point where unfortunately very similar to the first one, I felt that it was just there's a little bit too much filler in there for me. I mean, when you have 8 different stories going on, it's the kind of thing where that's just so much content that it multiplies out how much filler there is.
Sure. Yeah.
So and I just got to a few points where I was just like, man, it just slowed down a little too much for me. But that being said, if I have more time to just do that kind of stuff, it's a solid game, and I did enjoy all my time in it. So
yeah, everyone that I know that has finished it has said it's a fantastic RPG.
I heard, unfortunately, it really ramps up towards the end, and it's like cool, but I don't really have 148 hours.
Exactly.
There.
Going by, you were talking about best-selling Final Fantasy games. I found a best-selling Square Enix list. It has citations for all of this, so I guess take it for what it's worth. Final Fantasy XIV's at 24 million sales. That might just be players, so sales is a weird term there. 7's at 14.9, 8's at 12 million, 12 is 11.3, 15's at 10.2. Sorry, that was no. That was 12. 13 is at 9.6. And then Final Fantasy VII Remake is at 9.2. 10 is at 8.9. So I don't know how accurate those sales numbers are. But
so 16 hasn't even cracked that list?
Not yet, but I mean it's been out
more or less.
Yeah, right.
Month.
Sure.
Yeah. It's not in this list. So
okay.
It looks like Tactics is like down at 50. Lightning Returns is 3.5 million, which is Final Fantasy 13.3. Is I think what Lightning Returns was, unless that was 2. I don't know. Let's not talk about Final Fantasy 13.
That's good.
Let's move past that as fast as possible, like lightning. Zeke, where are we headed?
Let's head to France.
Yeah, what's going on in France?
I think there's an event going on.
What is it?
Some sort of event.
Is it riots? Riots, isn't it?
Is that Riot? Is that is
Well, that's always going on in France.
Okay.
That's like did the sun rise? Yes, yeah, it's Riot's France. Anyways, but yeah, TwitchCon. Are you guys do you guys have any FOMO about that? About TwitchCon Paris?
Man, I have negative FOMO.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I watched.
You have negative FOMO. You wish you could take people from there and bring them back home.
I was sitting
How does that
on.
even work?
I was sitting on the boat yesterday, and I was watching Aaron and my stepdaughter were tubing behind the boat. I was like, "What's going on Twitch? Let's see what's happening." So I pulled up my phone. I watched Nick Paulum was doing like an IRL stream. Tuned in for 5 seconds, and he goes, "Man, I kind of just want to go see Paris and get out of TwitchCon." I was like, "Well, all right." So that's about that's my experience thus far with TwitchCon Paris 2023 is a massive streamer saying he'd rather go check out Paris. I don't really have very much FOMO around this. From the con floor that he was shown, I think it was close to closing time, and so it was kind of barren. There wasn't that many people there. But I was watching the CEO, Mr. Dan Clancy, was streaming this morning or this afternoon, I guess, in Paris right now, from TwitchCon. and there was a lot of people there. They were all
Yeah.
outside at that point, so it seemed a little bit more populated than the other stream that I had seen. But yeah, I didn't watch any of the panels. This is honestly, this blog will be the first time I'm reading anything apart from headlines in terms of what was announced. But didn't watch any of the keynote, didn't watch any of the panels. Yeah, I have zero interest in being at the con. But that's most cons, right? Like I'm anti-con.
Yeah.
In most days, most weekends. So, what about you, Zeke? Were you feeling it? Did you wish you were there?
Honestly, no. I'm kind of glad that I didn't go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just if I could have found a way to afford it, not afford it, found like financially responsible plane tickets to get there, I wouldn't have, I wouldn't have felt like I got my eyes gouged out by, paying the price.
Yeah.
I would have gone and I probably would have had a good time, but I probably would have done the same thing that a lot of people did, like head to the con for a little bit and then, go walk around Paris, and just see like a city I've never seen before.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Co, for you, did you miss it at all?
No.
Does it make you excited for Vegas? Because I think you are going to that TwitchCon,
Yeah,
right?
I am going to Vegas. I'm looking forward to that. I haven't really gotten any FOMO or anything like that from it. I was pleasantly surprised by the keynote. I mean, they had more things there announced than I was expecting, and some of it's pretty cool.
Cool.
And I think that if some of those things are done right, it could be relatively awesome and healthy and good for the site. So that part was good. It does make me wonder what they're going to announce at Vegas in only a few months. They're very close to each other, so I'm curious, like, if they're going to have anything for Vegas, which is a concern.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't really seen anything that makes me kind of like wish I was there. And I've talked to a few people who are there, and they're like, "Yeah, it's okay." It's like it's pretty cool.
Well, yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of where we are right now.
I have I guess jaded is the word, because I've always, whenever I go to a con, and this goes back to like QuakeCon, right, in like the 2000s. QuakeCon's a little bit different because you bring a computer and you're on a massive LAN and play games, so it's a little bit of a different experience. But they still had con-like booths and whatnot. All that shit was just a waste of time for me. Like I've never stood in line at any booth excited, even like the gaming events like PAX. I would go to a PAX to just like walk around the show floor, and after like 30 or 45 minutes, I was like, let's go find a bar or go, not be on the show floor. And so it's, with that said, I didn't see anything on the show floor that was like super exciting in any of the footage that I saw. It was mostly just like, sponsor stuff. Like Stream Elements had a booth, from what I could tell.
Elgato had a big presence.
Elgato had a big presence there, yeah. And that there's nothing for me to be interested in when it comes to that. Like I don't need to walk up to their booth and talk to them type deal. I don't need a t-shirt from Elgato, which is like what a lot of streamers would go to the booths for, to like collect different swag and whatnot. And so I that being said, I don't know what there's a weird thing with TwitchCon, right? Because you're serving two audiences in a lot of ways. You're serving streamers, but you're also serving the community of streamers. And those two audiences want different things from a con experience. Streamers want to hang out with other streamers and maybe have some like business conversations. And I guess that happens at night when you go to all the super fucking loud, crazy parties that I think still happen. And like community and viewers want to go there to meet streamers. And so that's kind of like a lot of way the streamers are a part of the con rather than like going to the con to have fun, if that makes sense. Like the fun for us is what happens at night. It's the things outside the con. It's not the con, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like you go to the Oscars, sure, but everybody knows like the after parties are what's banging,
Yeah.
It's
you get to
you
finally
go there
like
to
see
seen,
you
you
get to see
dress
friends.
up and you look nice, and then like if you're like me, you go to the after party and you're like, All right, time to be myself.
Yeah, time to like not be on, right? Time to
Yeah.
not be on.
Oh, and I don't. I hope I didn't miss this being mentioned. But did you see Zach Busey's thing about the partner stuff?
No, I did not. What? I
So
saw he was
he
tweeting up a
actually-
storm, but I don't know what it was about.
Yeah, I mean, a bunch of Twitch stuff happened, so it makes sense. But he was actually tracking the amount of partners that were going to the con, and there was significantly less this time around. And one of the reasons why is not only I was like, hey, maybe safety, and he was like, no, they actually we tracked a large downturn before that. They stopped giving partner discounts.
Really? So is that to like merch and like tickets and all that stuff?
I don't know.
Okay.
All I know is that apparently that was a large factor for a lot of local and regional partners on if they wanted to go or not.
Huh. I guess I mean, yeah, that makes sense to me in a odd way, I suppose. I think like the TwitchCon that we experienced in 2014, whenever those were, like what, 10 years, a decade ago. It was such a different experience, and it was such a different Twitch back then, right? The amount of partners probably scaled crazy numbers in terms of then versus now, and so like offering a flat discount.
2019 was the last one I went to.
Yeah,
and then 4 years later, I'm sure there's going. Yeah, I don't know what the difference in number of partners are, but
probably
it's got to be
huge.
staggering.
Yeah. And chat, someone at Pookie in chat points out there's also 2 tiers of partners. Totally.
Yep.
Yeah, there's without a doubt 2 tiers of partners that go to a TwitchCon.
And even
without
arguably,
question.
there's even more than that. When you start.
Hold on,
you know,
is it,
looking
if
at
I
the
gotta
internals,
ask what tier I'm on, does that mean I'm on the low one?
that is
Yes,
correct, yes.
we're both on the low one. Co would be on the in the high one, but like at the bottom of the high one.
I'd be, you know how they say
Okay.
like upper middle class?
Upper
like
middle,
that's that's kind of where
There
we
we
are
go.
these days.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. Upper middle class.
Exactly. Here's what Zeke. Here's a
We ain't
great way to
VIP
say it.
anymore, that's for sure.
Yes. A great way for me to look at it, and not have a bruised ego, Zeke. We would be who the Twitch employees called legends of Twitch, because we're not big anymore, but we do.
I like that. Is that the
Yeah,
official? Is that the interior term for the?
I
the
saw that
legends
tossed
of
around.
Twitch?
I saw that tossed around on social media a lot. I was like, that makes sense. I get
Is
that.
that if they see a group of us, they can be like, "You lot."
Yeah. We're walking around with
we're
our
the-
canes and shit. We got our walkers like getting onto the show floor. Yeah.
Legacy.
man.
There you go. Legacy. I like legacy better than legendary.
Legacy is probably a little bit more appropriate.
Legacy.
Yeah.
There we
Yeah.
go.
We are the bodies buried in the concrete that Twitch is built on.
Sure. That's another way you could look at it. Yeah. But yeah, it was an event. I haven't looked at any of the announcements, so you guys want to go through those? I think this blog post.
Yeah, sure. And some of these,
details them.
full disclosure, some of these are pretty great. Yeah, like they're just good. There's no
Well,
spin, no negative spin on them. They're like just potentially cool things.
Yeah.
I'm glad that
Which is
they
great.
announced these because I wasn't sure how much like I could talk about because shortly before these were announced, I went to dinner with Dan
Oh yeah,
Dan Clancy, and it was more of like a don't tweet about this kind of a thing. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'll talk roundabout, but I'm glad like this is a lot of the shit we talked about at the table. He's like, this is the shit that's coming, and I think it's gonna be. I was like, that's pretty good. You know, there's some of this stuff is pretty great.
I'm curious. Did he fly out to Colorado? Like how
Yeah.
was? Oh, he was just in the area. Like what was that about?
The CEO of Twitch flew out
he-
to Colorado to have dinner with the legend of Twitch, Ezekiel the Third. Is that what I'm hearing?
Headline.
I wish.
Headline.
I
Yeah.
wish that was the case, but no.
Yeah.
Because Summit was there. There's
Oh,
There we go.
I didn't
Okay.
even need to be there.
got it.
No, there was I think there were six of us at the table with Dan. A couple people couldn't make it. They had scheduling or whatever.
Yeah.
But he actually has I think he has family. If I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
okay.
Oh, cool.
Somewhere in the Denver or Colorado area.
Cool.
And he was like, yeah, I'm flying through there, so do you want to go like I was reached out to by the Twitch rep, like, he's gonna be there. Do you want to go dinner? I was like, sure. Who else is gonna be there? Like, well, we don't know. And I was like, okay, I'll go.
Sounds like
So it
Twitch.
might be a Zeke and Dan date.
Yeah.
There we
So
go.
me and Classic Katie went and had a lovely dinner that was far too expensive that he paid for. And you know, it's nice to go to those dinners every once in a while and see how, like, oh, this is how fancy people eat. Real small things. They eat lots of real small
Yes,
things.
yeah.
They're tasty. Don't
And
get me wrong. They're super tasty.
And amuse bouche is what they, isn't that what the
Yes.
that term? Yeah.
This is emulsified caviar and seaweed kelp emulsion, sprinkled with
I do
tears of small children.
Wait a minute. Were you my waiter?
So wait, Summit was there. Who else was there? I'm like curious just to know how awkward that dinner was.
Don't make me name drop, dude.
Well, I'm not asking you a name drop. I'm just saying who else was there.
I will say, if Dan specifically was like, let's not tweet about this, then having Zeke go on a talk show and talk about it is probably like the opposite of what he was asking about.
No. Now most of the stuff that
Look,
he
Zeke,
said
that's
was
up to, or Cole, that's up to Zeke to decide. You're being the good angel on his left. And
Sorry,
I'm being the little
sorry.
devil, like poking him in the head with the pitchfork.
now.
Zeke, what was he wearing?
No, the reason why he said that was because he knew that the announcements were coming at during TwitchCon Paris.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was saying keep
yeah,
all
so
that
he
on the
didn't,
DL
he didn't
before it was
want to
announced.
ruin the surprise. Exactly.
Sure.
So, but yeah, it was a fun dinner. Like, it was he's like the very low business like vibes I get from him. Like, I don't get like that he's I know he has to be, right? If he's CEO of Twitch, he has to be very business minded, but he didn't strike me like that at all. He struck me, he honestly struck me as like someone who wanted to be a streamer but like had to go into business.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, he was streaming this morning, or streaming. He might even be live right now. Still, he's streaming 30 minutes ago from the show floor. So makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into what they announced.
Yep, do it.
Let's roll through here. I'm reading most of these for the first time. Improvements to the clip editor. Direct exports to TikTok. That's good. Adding more features to the clip editor, including trimming functionality and the ability to grant access to your
access to your video editor.
Why isn't that bolded?
I know, right? I know.
the biggest thing.
That's so big. That's so big.
And bringing the clip editor to mobile. Cool.
Which is probably huge for, IRL streamers and stuff like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some IRL streamers that barely touch their computer. So it's kind of like that's big.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's good stuff. What else is there? Introducing the discovery feed.
They call it the discovery feed, but this is Twitch Talk.
Really? Is
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
Let me see if I can
Talk.
find like video of it. Let's go to
check Zach's
Busey.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say check Zach's Twitter. If you need something Twitch related, check Zach's Twitter.
Cole, from what they showed while I'm looking for it, is it good? Does
It looks early.
okay?
See, here's the thing. It's early, and with a system like this, there's a lot of decisions they're gonna have to make, and I don't know if we know what their decisions on that are yet. Like, is this gonna be a little side thing that's at the side of Twitch, or is this gonna be like have its own app kind of thing? Like,
Oh, weird.
yeah. So like, it's gonna they're making this now, but what they do with it, we're not super clear on yet. So, I mean, if it's the kind of thing where, we're going to see like this start being the face of Twitch and then you go through these to get to streams, like that's going to be huge for discoverability. If, these people are like alive when people are going through these clips and things like that. In the same vein, and I hate saying this, but like many Twitch features, if this is the kind of thing where it's like, cool, look at this great thing we made, and then they just like forget about it, that they made it. Or just, don't service it or don't keep improving it, then it's like many things just going to be DOA.
Yeah.
So it looks like it could be cool. But time will tell if it's something that's going to actually be cool. It has huge potential though. Like big potential. So like if they did this properly, like they could actually make a competitor to TikTok. I mean, I hate saying it. I'm somebody who uses TikTok these days. It's
You
easy
hate
to do
saying
for,
that you use
hate saying it.
TikTok?
Hate saying it.
What?
I use
Is
TikTok.
that just because is it the age thing or like?
It's the age thing. It's
Okay.
that's just one of many things.
Dude, I
That's
killed
one of many
4
things.
hours on TikTok last night at the
Yeah,
airport. It
yeah,
was easy.
I
I
know.
was just like, oh,
But
yeah.
Here's
Oh,
and here's the thing.
oh,
That's exactly right. What's nice about TikTok is the fact that you can open it up you're instantly in with content in front of you.
yeah.
And then it's literally just a slip to go to something completely different.
Yeah.
And you can do it fast and you can do it easy. And then if you like somebody or you see something cool, like yesterday I was flipping through it and I found some dude that would like rescued a duck. And he was
Hell
like,
yeah,
well,
he
this
did.
begins the adventure of raising our duck. And I was like, I want more of this. And like, I clicked on his profile and spent like 30 minutes, like watching all these update videos on this duck. And it was amazing. If they can do that for streamers,
Yeah.
if they can make it so you're flipping through streamers, you find a funny clip and you're like, oh, let me see the best clips this guy has. Click. And then all of a sudden I'm flipping through that dude's best clips, laughing and being funny. Then while I'm doing that, a little red light pops up and it's like, this guy's live. And I'm like, oh, let me click that. Click. And then all of a sudden the Twitch app opens and I'm watching their live stream. And they're like, if they do this properly, it could be absolutely huge. I mean, it would literally be Twitch moving into this entirely new field that they haven't really gotten into before. And then they'd be able to connect it to their backend. Or you could forget about it, nothing could happen. So it's like, I mean, we'll see.
I mean,
We'll see.
I look at this as like the next stage of growth and evolution for the platform is this, right? Like if they
do it right,
if they can emulate what TikTok does well, and a lot of that is like the algorithm, right? The algorithm of TikTok is so strong. And so it's a little insidious in terms of how crazy it is, but yeah.
Twitch has a lot of this stuff already with their recommended sections and their recommended follow pages, and recommended like of course they would have to fine tune them for short form content, and they'd have to start integrating all those algorithms on clips and stuff, which I'm not entirely sure how well that would work right now. But they clearly could do it. Like, would it be done well? Who knows? Maybe you could like pick different styles of algorithms, which would be really cool. If you like prefer things with humor, if you prefer things that are wholesome, like, maybe you could put like a keyword in and it would like help tune your algorithm to the type of content you're looking for at that time. So,
yeah,
they already have a tag system that they could utilize. Like they have all these components that they could use to make this really cool if they want to.
Well, one of the points that that Dan brought up during that dinner was that the thinking at Twitch, and I agree mostly, is that the reason people will come to Twitch and bounce off. They'll come to Twitch for like 15 minutes ago, the same for me, or today, maybe I'll try again later on.
Yeah.
But if you can get someone to find a place where they feel like they could be a part of a community, that's how you get retention, and that's how you get people to stay, watch, participate, and thereby fund Twitch and the streamers and stuff like that, is by getting people to feel like they're part of a community. And this is them like exploring ways to say to like for short attention span theater, TikTok, all that shit. You see like someone you actually like, maybe then you go to their channel and talk to them live, and maybe you hit it off and become part of that community with their chat or whatever.
Yeah.
So
yeah. There's a lot of things of this that I look at it, and it's like if this works, how this video is showing, right? Like where you're just scrolling through and you're seeing a clip and you're like, oh, I want to watch that streamer. It's really going to reinforce the idea of like always being live, because if you have something like blow up, then you want to be able to catch those viewers who are like, oh, let's watch more of this. Because if you're not live, it's kind of just like a cool, I guess I'll follow this person. That's like the step. And then it kind of ends there. Then they just keep scrolling, right?
See, that's
well,
the kind
following
of, like,
is huge though. Like, cause that's most people that stick around Twitch, like myself included, follow page. I don't even, no one goes to front page anymore.
Sure.
Just follow page. So like if we can get like the follows, like I think that's a big thing. I think that, follows are the first step.
Yeah. What were we gonna say, Co?
It's fine. Past it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm very curious for this. I hope this is also built into the Twitch app and not a separate app. I hope it's just like the Discover feed on the Twitch app, and that's or on the Twitch mobile app. Sorry.
See, that's where I don't know if I'd agree with you.
Really? You think
I would
two
I would think it would be
ecosystems?
better. I think it would be better if they showcase this, because if they do make it a button you have to click on the main page, no one's ever gonna click it. Like that's
Oh, you're
that's
saying
what hap-
like
that's I'm saying that's
I
what
see, I
happens
see.
with all these like half-baked Twitch ideas is they
Yeah.
put forth this really cool idea, a really cool system, but then they don't put a spotlight on it, so it just stays out of the way. Where it's like, think if they made an app called like Twitch Discover, that's a terrible name, but come up with some catchy name for it. They promote downloading it in the normal app. They link it to the app, so anytime you like go to someone's stream, it opens the app and goes to it. But they make it so it's its own thing, its own ecosystem. And that way that like people that prefer that will actually use it and keep going back to it and stuff like that. It won't become this, thing. It's like behind closed doors on the main app kind of thing. I think that if they lean into this, it could be huge. And if they do exactly what you're saying, if they make it so you bring up the Twitch app and then hit the like discover button, I think that's
Well,
how this is gonna die.
I mean, looking at this UI and looking at Twitch on my phone, it's the same UI except Discover is moved over to the left and it looks like it's the first thing that populates when you load the app, I guess is what
Yep.
they're doing here.
So now another interesting thing is like there is a discover section on Twitch already.
Yes.
So I wonder
Yeah,
I
it's
wonder
this.
if this is I wonder if this is going to
It's
maybe
this. Look.
they're gonna
You can't see anything.
maybe they're gonna replace that completely with this. Maybe this is the replacement of that section,
Probably.
which would be interesting because that would mean that the Discover app on the Twitch app is a different form of content from what you're actually discovering. You see what I'm saying with that?
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
like
TikTok does that right now to a lesser degree, right? Because it's like,
but it
in-
takes you to more TikToks is the thing.
well, in your feed, a TikTok live will just be inserted into my feed every once in a while, and then you
It's true.
click,
Same.
and then it brings you into the full TikTok live ecosystem.
See what you're saying.
And I don't know if that's been super successful for them, because most
I
of
will
the
say
time, I don't
TikTok
get-
Live is generally for mobile screens.
yeah,
It would
formatted
be,
for it.
Yeah, so like Twitch Live would just kind of be Twitch. So I guess they would just like put Twitch streams in the role
Yeah,
with
but
the other
that's-
content.
They click like on.
I saw at one point they went to a Twitch stream in the
And I think it's
preview
just-
thing. Yeah, like that. Yeah, so they blur that top and
Yeah, right
It's
there.
like
so
a
they click
misformatted
watch stream,
TikTok.
and it's just that. It's just like the regular Twitch
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Regular Twitch feed with all the buttons.
We'll have
there.
to see, man. We'll have to see. It's gonna be super interesting if this can get traction.
The one
Which
So
thing,
I'm
That's
guessing
fraction.
I'm guessing you submit your own like for the discovery thing, like for
For
the
clips?
landing page.
Oh,
of,
I would-
of the
I
app.
think it's your clips.
I think it would
is
just
the
be
idea.
whatever's popular on Twitch.
So it's
I-
going to be the
well-
same 3 people every fucking.
That's the
No, no, no.
issue, right?
No, I
Is that
think- I
TikTok?
think
Is that what TikTok is too?
now read the thing again.
Okay,
But
let me
I'm
read it.
pretty sure it's people's clips. I think that's what it is. It's short form content in I don't think you upload your own
Yeah,
Twitch Discover content.
it just pulls clips. Yeah,
Yeah, it just was clips. So
Go clips from
Now,
tons of
here- the
streamers.
interesting
From
thing is-
tons of streamers' channels.
Twitch viewers will be able to see the clips. It's not our goal for viewers to spend hours in the clip feed. Hold on. I want to make sure that
Yeah, I'm not gonna move.
So this is interesting. What this doesn't say is if the streamer dictates what the clips are, or if the viewers making the clips do.
might just
so
be
for
a
instance,
numbers thing.
This is weird though, because think of like LSF. Like
Yeah.
no streamer submits their own clips to LSF.
Right.
So like would a streamer have to mark clips that either they themselves make or viewers make as discoverable clips?
I think it's just a
Or
numbers
is
thing.
it random?
Yeah, it's what's popular on Twitch. What is getting numbers, and that's what we're gonna feed to more people.
So viewers would be the ones technically that would actually make the content in those, you think?
Yeah,
And then would they get credit for it in the system?
that I don't know. That's actually an interest. Oh, I see. Okay, I see what you're saying now. That is
Wait,
interesting.
they're saying scroll down. That's saying.
Oh, right here. Managing feature clips? I mean, that's a different
Today we
thing.
announced at the beginning of August, we're going to mark clips as featured in your creator dashboard. You already have control over who can make clips of your stream and the ability to delete ones you don't like.
It's this.
We'll prioritize showing your feature clips ahead of non-featured clips in directory surfaces. So it's not that they're going to not show unfeatured clips. They are going to show them in priority. Huh.
Yeah.
And over time, allow you to control what clips appear in your feed.
To be fair, they should have put that
They
before.
switched perspective in that line. They switched perspective in that line. At the beginning, they're talking about, we'll prioritize showing your feature clips like the streamer ahead of non-featured clips, including the discovery feed. And over time, allow you, at this point, I think the viewer, to control which clips appear in your feed. Am I just not reading that right, or do they switch perspective?
No, that's true. They do switch. Yeah, it's the first half's talking to streamers, second half's talking to viewers, I guess. Unless a feed is per streamer, so you have like clips.
I assume
that
the
are in your
feed was what every viewer has their feed.
Yeah,
maybe that's not.
Yeah, that's what I would agree. Unless maybe the feed is what
the feed, not your feed.
In the feed.
Oh, in the feed.
The feed being the overarching.
The big feed.
Tweet,
there we go.
Feed. Yeah. Okay.
Whoops. We got the word wrong.
We got there.
Okay. So you over time you will allow to control. So so what that means is, over time allow the streamer to control which clips appear in the feed. So that means when it comes out, you won't have control over what clips appear in the feed. So I hope you like the clips of yours that make it, because it looks like you may not have a choice.
Yeah. It'll
I mean, you're gonna have to keep an eye on your fucking.
What I'm trying to say is, chat, stop clipping me when I bend over to pick up my microphones, okay? I don't want to see any of that on the feed.
I mean, there will be a lot of that. There's a lot of that on TikTok.
Do I need to bend over more and pick up stuff off the floor? Would that get me more discovery? Is that going to help?
It depends. It depends.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
It depends. I do wonder how like influential a place, a community like LSF will be for this, where those clips are getting amplified by like 10x. Well, no, that's what I'm saying. But like how much of that feed is going to be just the top 20 post on LSF every single day, ultimately?
I mean, it depending on how. Now, here's the thing: you would think initially all the top things on the feed would be all the top stuff, but think about directory lists these days. Directory lists do not sort by numbers. And I would be surprised if they did the exact same thing with this brand new feature. I don't think you're just going to see the top ones. I think they're going to do their same
by default.
Keep leaning into their algorithm mumbo jumbo.
Yeah. And
they're going to try to show things that they think are what you want to see. So based on the streams that you watch, or we'll see how they decide to do the. I'm sure they'll, it's going to be probably just like TikTok, where when you are on TikTok, sorry, United States senators, we know how this works for you. So when you're on TikTok, if you watch something for a period of time, it then gives your account a plus on that. So if you keep watching things of the same content, then that's what it keeps showing you. And if you keep watching, it keeps showing you. If you start flipping through a bunch of things that you used to watch before, then that stuff gets removed from your account. So yeah, so all those people in government be like, why does TikTok just show me boobs and ass all the time? It's like, yeah, why does it do that?
That's so weird, man. Like,
that's
wow.
so weird.
I want maybe if you didn't. Weird. I guess you should probably not.
It's research, damn it! It's research.
Maybe don't let that loop 10 times, so the algorithm's like, oh, you enjoyed that. Would you like more?
Listen, it's not my fault that she put the picture so quick I had to pause it 30 times just to see it. Why do you do that? Just a waste of my time.
That's funny as hell. I love that that is how it works.
I do.
That makes me laugh.
Then you accidentally favored it. It's just a big mess.
I love it. It's great. It's 10 out of 10.
What's the Senator Graham?
Lindsey Graham?
Lindsey Graham. Oh, you sounded like a pissed off Lindsey Graham just now, and that was awesome.
A little bit.
That was real good.
A little bit. Cool. That is the Discovery feed. Okay, so we went through that. Oh, what are stories?
Okay, this is another big announcement. These are like these are basically more curated, longer form, short content. But it's basically like you get to add in some extra stuff to add some interactivity. You get to put in more things, order them, that kind of thing. It's kind of, I don't use them myself. In fact, I don't even have an account, but from what I understand, Instagram stories are a thing. And I think this is Twitch's version of that. I think.
Okay.
From what I understand.
I read that. Let me see if
Jack,
there's
correct me if I'm wrong. Is that's it? That's basically it, right?
It makes sense. Let's see what this this video is. Let's see a visual. Let's bring in the visual
pretty much.
aid.
Okay. Oh God.
What?
Visual aid. Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna like pull on Aurelian, like Instagram or something.
No. I just wanted to see what this is. So is this aimed at like keep being engaged?
YouTube has stories too?
Oh, it does? I didn't know that.
I didn't even know that.
Is this
That's a
like
thing?
basically aimed at keeping your community engaged when you're not streaming? Is that what this is?
No, I think it's them trying to get into the market share that other companies are successfully exploiting. So Instagram stories are big.
Yeah.
And I think this is them just trying to be like, look, you can do that here too. Like that's what a lot of this is these days. Which, you know, I mean, that's part of growing social media. Thank you, Meta. But yeah, it's you know, it's a you can do that under our umbrella, so you don't have to go outside of our umbrella, kind of thing.
Yeah. Zach's tweet says, share clips, pictures, text updates, or polls with all your followers or subs. Content disappears after 24 hours. So there is like a sense of FOMO in it, I guess. Did they say that in the Twitch blog aspect?
So you spend time making these things, like with all these different factors, and then they delete themselves after a day?
I guess.
Is that what the other ones do? I thought that was a phone app that did that with messages, so I could send my nudes.
Like Snapchat?
Snapchat.
Oh, that is how Instagram stories work. Literally just Insta stories.
Oh, it is? Oh, I didn't realize that's how Instagram stories worked.
There's too much.
Oh.
Chat's like, these fucking boomers. They don't even know.
I know.
We have social media apps. Right?
I looked into Instagram years ago, and some dude in gaming shades got the word, or got co-carnage, so I was just like, nope, don't care enough for that.
Nope. Dude, speaking of that, this is completely on topic for that, but off topic for what we're talking about. Did you see Gold Glove on Twitter where he was like, I finally got my name, guys. I feel like it's going to happen because someone like twitter.com/goldglove DM'd him and he like quote tweeted, like, guys, I'm going to get my name. And my immediate thought was, why would you advertise and like make this a bigger deal than it currently is? 4 or 5 hours later, I checked my feed. He wanted 20,000 for it.
Oh, yeah.
That's so fucking fun. He just didn't even respond to the guy.
I like how somebody just said we have to bring on a special guest youth advisor.
Yeah, we need a youth advisor for DF.
Well,
these legacy streamers really need, we need a guide. We need a guide.
It's these damn legacy streamers.
Early on when I was collecting baseball cards back in the day when I was in Little League and stuff, baseball, football, basketball cards, that I got a real hard lesson because I was like, saw my buddy's baseball card collection. I was like, that's the rated rookie I need to complete my collection. And he's like, oh, you want it that bad, huh? And I was like, there's something to be learned here. If you want something really bad, don't let anyone know that shit.
That's correct. Yeah. So I think it's safe to say Gold Glove will not be getting his Twitter name for 20K. But yeah. Twitch stories, I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like that it is for a different type of creator than we are, I guess is how I would look at that. But if this also attracts people from, Instagram over here and grows the audience that is Twitch, grows the whole pie that is Twitch, then cool. I'm excited for that. Get more people on the platform. That could always be fun. But just like Co said with the other one, they got to iterate on it. They can't just push it live once and say, guys, we did a thing where it's a success. It's an entirely different thing. It's a massive product. So they have to constantly iterate on it. And that's not a thing that Twitch does.
Interesting. It's kind of interesting because all these companies are trying so hard to get their social environments to be under their own umbrellas.
Yeah.
That I kind of wonder if we're going to get to the point where it's kind of like what happened with MMOs. Like back in the day, there were so few MMOs, so you kind of knew where everyone was going. And when one was coming out, it's like, hey, are you playing this? Oh, of course I'm playing that. And you could go in and you'd see the same names and stuff of people you played a lot. And it's just going to get to the point where there's like so many of like every company is going to have its shorts. Every company is going to have its reels. Every company's going to have its live. And it's just going to be like, it's just going to dilute the whole thing. It's just going to all become a mess of noise and no one's going to know where to go for anything. Yeah, somebody's saying it's already happening. It is already happening.
We are kind of there.
I mean, what we're looking at is a step in that exact direction. Like
Totally.
now Twitch is like, hey, we're going to do stories. We're going to do TikTok, Twitch talk, and it's like, this is another step. So
yeah,
kind of wild.
I kind of look at this with everything you just said in mind, where it's like, I don't know how this could be anywhere near as successful as the other platforms that already have this, because it kind of is just like a copy and paste of what they're already doing, and they're not like improving it, but they're bringing it into the Twitch ecosystem. So maybe it's not a bad thing, but I just don't see I don't see any of this like exploding and becoming the next big thing, like where TikTok has exploded and now like TikTok is its own thing that is, such a market disruptor, and people are like, oh, we got to get a TikTok. We got to get the short form video is all the rage these days. And now everyone's trying to get short form video onto their long form video platforms for that conversion factor. I don't know if that's going to be
So we went from long form to short form, and then it's just going to be pictures, and then we've gone full circle.
I think is it micro content? There's like an industry term for it that I don't know. I think it's micro content.
So you would have like what, 1 to 3 seconds to sell your content. In that case, you're just scrolling through people screaming at you. Like,
that's my favorite. I love that. That's what my feed is. Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. We're all back to Vine at the end of the day. That's exactly
we
right.
go.
We're all getting back to Vine. All things ended and started in Vine. Cool. Twitch stories. And when is that launches in October? And when is the other thing supposed to launch? Sorry, I'm scrolling. Launches in the fall. Experiments soon. Whatever that means. Let's go back to the blog. See what else they announced. Guest star. That's a thing they're still doing.
So get this. Guest star, in some ways, it looks like is going to be like not replacing, but maybe adding to squad streaming.
Adding in what way? I'm
like with this update, up to 5 streamers can join forces, all while live from their own channels. While streaming together, you can add your collaborators' video feeds to your own stream while still using your own alerts and stream interactions.
Oh.
So they're like kind of merging it a little bit.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I do think if example, the 3 of us guest star stream, right? We're doing a Drop Frames games or something.
Right.
At that point, if we do that, from my perspective, very little reason to stream. And from Zeke's perspective, if I was Zeke, very little reason to stream, where we could just give you our cams and have it all on your stream.
No, that's true, but I think the idea here is that you could basically just fire up your stream like you would any game, and then I'm guessing it splits it out into browser sources. So then, like, I'm guessing the camera I don't know how it's going to do the actual like splitting, but then I could just bring that into mine. You could bring that into yours. You can put the cameras where you want, kind of thing. And then if they're all added, I'm guessing there's an interface where you can
move them,
see them all, like squad streaming. Now the next step, and I don't know, let's read the whole thing real quick, but the next step would be somehow intelligently getting all the chats together, but I don't think this touches that.
God, that would,
that's the next step. Like, that's the big, awesome next step in being able to watch multiple streamers at once, is being able to have all the chats, like, actually be together. Like, what would be amazing, for instance, is if you did a squad stream and it made a 4th chat that was then everyone watching the squad stream from all the channels. and you could use the sub emotes from anyone you're sub to in there, and like like you could do all sorts of fun stuff. So it's like there would be each streamer would have their own chat, and then there'd be a chat where everyone watching all 3 streamers could like hang
Would
out.
you-
For people saying that's way too
like
much,
random
of course it would
gift
be
subs
optional.
and they
It would
go
all
to
be
the,
optional.
go to random
Of course.
people, like random people in the streams.
No,
That'd
I
be
think
cool.
sub alerts would just go to the streamers.
Yeah. And again,
channel.
this is not replacing anything. This would just be options. You want to just stay in your streamer's chat, more power to you, that'd be fine. But it would, like, for instance, I frequently monitor at least 2+ chats if I'm doing, drop frames and stuff like that. So it'd be cool
Yeah.
to have a chat where everyone could like chat with each other about the show they're watching from all the different communities.
Yeah,
That could be a cool option to have.
I would love that.
So you start a squad stream and there'd be a button that says squad chat. And you press
Now-
that button and it pops out a chat for the squad stream.
I'm curious for you guys. Is it a 4th chat or is it the 3 chats combined into one?
3 chats combined into one would be way too much.
It's kind of a
Now
lot.
here's
yeah.
here's an interesting thing. If now I don't know if this would be necessarily the best thing for us to do on drop frames, but I would say it would be interesting if in a squad stream situation, you could select a checkbox that says integrate chat. And if all the streamers selected that checkbox,
We turn
and it
into
was literally
Voltron.
just-
and
you could Voltron your chats together into one big chat. Like, especially for smaller streamers and stuff like that, that could be kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Like, and then there would just be one chat room of a Voltron amalgamation of all the streams that are involved in the squad stream. And you only look at one chat. Everyone only chats in one chat, and everyone gets to talk to each other that's watching any of the streams.
Who moderates? All moderates in one. All
Oh, I'd say all
moderators?
moderators would get options. Yep, absolutely. It would the whole thing about this is that it would be like base and easy. Like all moderators would get their things. All subs would have the sub. Like you could have little icons. You can choose which sub icon you have if you're subbed to multiple streamers.
I think that would be cool.
You know,
I'd be for
Roscoe
that.
all our emotes
Waffle
would work
from
in
my
one place.
chat
Yeah.
said, yet crossovers might end up in bans because my channel versus your channel and what is allowed and stuff.
That's there would be
Yes.
issues and gotchas like that for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It would be. It would be a mess.
What if someone's banned in one chat and not in the others? I would say that ban would probably take priority. So if you'd get banned in one chat, you'd be banned in the squad chat.
Do you think Twitch?
Yep.
Yeah. Do you think Twitch just does the shared? At that point, it
At
automatically
least for that
shares-
stream.
Yeah.
For that stream, it would.
When you
absolutely.
Voltron your chats, it shares
Voltron your
mod
chats
comments, moderation actions, all
Everybody.
that stuff. Yeah.
It opens your bank accounts, splits it evenly among everybody.
Yeah. That'd be great.
Yep.
I'm all for it.
Not these days, you aren't.
Well, that's true. Maybe that's true. Yeah, I hope they experiment with that in some way.
That sounds
it-
like a shit show. Yeah, it'd be glorious. I completely agree.
I think it would be a fun experiment.
I think it'd be kind of fun. Again, 100% all opt in, and not necessarily like we're 3 relatively large channels. So for us, we already all have active chat rooms. It would be kind of catastrophic. But imagine if it's 3 of your buddies, one of them is kind of big and 2 of you are constantly wishing for more chat interaction. It's like, boom, all of a sudden you all get to see the same chat. You can all respond to and talk about the same things. Like
Yeah.
this is not necessarily a feature for us. This would be a feature that other people might really enjoy and be super cool to see in the app, like out in the wild kind of thing.
That's always been the golden goose for like all the D&D content that I've ever done. I've always wanted one major chat for, the 4+ streams that are
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
a part of a D&D show.
Super cool idea.
I just there's a lot of variables that Twitch would have to make a call on
Mhm.
on how all that works. So I hope that they are considering that. But it seems like obviously guest star is the biggest focus here.
Yeah.
With that, I don't know if they're going to bring chat or even if that's just a whole nother headache for them that they don't need to worry about at this point. Looks like that update will be rolling out in August for the streaming together aspect of guest star. What else here? Helping mods keep your what? Helping
Oh, this is
mods
great. Yeah,
keep
no, this
your
is
safe
awesome.
and shared mod comments.
Yep.
Is
Oh
that-
yeah, shared mod comments.
This is funny enough. When they first announced cross bans, one of the biggest things we said on this show was that they absolutely need this for it to be something worthwhile. And that's exactly what they're doing, which is fantastic. So now you
Great.
can actually put like little notes as to like why someone is banned in a channel, that's huge. That's huge. It's awesome. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just great.
September for
Good
that.
stuff.
That's great. Good stuff.
Mhm.
Oh boy. New alerts to help you incentivize and reward your community. What is this? Recruitment make alerts, blah, 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 blah. Today we announced several alerts. Incredible channel point unlocks, and soon you'll be able to celebrate those moments with full alert supports. We're also adding an alert randomizer, which lets you create multiple alerts for a certain action that can randomize. And then randomize which one plays to make celebrations more personal. We're adding emote customization options to help you keep safe during the times we need it most. We're adding alerts integrations into shield mode to allow streamers to easily pause alerts if there's an issue. Okay. So this is all
they're
just
finally
updates to their alert system.
Yeah,
Updates
they're
to their
finally
alert
getting
system.
to the place where, you know, Stream Elements, Streamlabs, whatever you use, you can already probably do most of this shit. It's just going to be first party now.
Yeah.
Which, if they do
Which
it
is
right, I'll
catching up a
probably
little bit.
like I don't see why I wouldn't swap over to that if it's first party and everything's on the same website. That'd be great. Like the least amount of websites I have to use to do my fucking business, like the better.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes sense. It makes sense why they're doing that, even if they are, like when we talked about the alert system the first time on the show, even if they are like 10 years too late.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is all this stuff of Twitch making it easier for new streamers to have better looking streams is better. Like it's good, it's great, like, you know, and most importantly for the streamer, it's free, which is huge. So
Yeah.
I mean that, you know, it's all very positive. But just like you guys have said, all this should have been done like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
like
Today we're adding stream events to include support for streamers' IRL birthday, along with first time you streamed anniversaries. Whichever milestones you want to celebrate with your community, stream events will soon make it easier than ever. Cool.
that stuff's cool.
Giving streamers more control over ad breaks. What is this?
This is pretty cool.
Oh,
It's a step in the right direction, but it's not. It's a little step.
Oh, okay. So yeah, they're just throwing it into chat. Great.
Yep, you have to use the ad scheduler. So if you're using the ad scheduler and a scheduled ad is coming up, then you will see that pop up in your chat and you can snooze it if you want to. So it gives streamers the ability to delay a scheduled ad break that they have previously scheduled, which is good. It would be better if that was on the viewer side. Then, of course, people could just snooze it for 5 minutes and leave the stream, which I'm sure Twitch would hate. So, you know, that comes with its own thing. But yeah, it's kind of nice because it gives streamers a little bit more control over when the ad schedule stuff runs. But in the same vein, you know, the streamer still scheduled ads to run at a certain time every stream. So it's kind of like it's just adding a small tool for that. And they can always turn it off anyway. So, you know, it's a step in the right direction. More ad control is good.
Yeah.
More ad control is good.
I'm curious,
But
There's
hold
lots
on,
of other
why
things
would
they need to attack with this.
yeah.
why would the streamer need the ad countdown timer, like the
Because you
schedule
just-
for ads?
Yeah, so
But-
the scheduler makes it so you have guaranteed ad runs, which a lot of streamers have built into their contracts or just want to do. So if you know you have to have 5 minutes
Okay.
of ads per hour, you do a 3-minute block at 30, you do a 2-minute block at 50, and that's how it is forever and ever. It's coming up on your 2-minute ad block. You're just 30 seconds from the end of the Final Fantasy 16 big boss fight at the end. Sorry, spoilers.
Right.
And you're like, okay,
What?
snooze that for 5 minutes. I know. Snooze that ad break for 5 minutes so everyone can see this, and then it'll play the ads.
Yeah.
Of course,
I got
hope,
this.
You got to hope at that point that 5 minutes
You're
later it's
done.
not going to be worse.
Yeah.
You know, maybe at that point it's a super secret second boss that nobody knew about. Oh God, even more spoilers. And at that point you just snooze to the exact middle of that fight when the big reveal happens. But you know, it's
No, I get how the
it's a little better.
snooze like function works. I'm just wondering why people would schedule ads without the incentive that we previously had. Because they stopped kind of doing the ad incentive, didn't they?
They stopped doing the ad incentive, but
Yeah.
they are reducing the split, and they have in the past and are giving streamers more ad revenue. So streamers are running more ads, so they will relatively largely increase their bottom line. So even if streamers don't have it in their contract, there are a lot of streamers that run ads just to help. Because Twitch has clearly said, like, we're going to be giving you a large percentage more of ads and taking that out of your subs. So if you want to be making the same money you were, you need to start running ads because we have beefed up how much they're worth to you.
Yeah.
So and when they did that, a lot of streamers did and still do run scheduled ads like all the time.
Yeah, with Barry saying in the chat, with scheduler, it's 55% of whatever the split is, I think. And then without scheduling, you only get 30%. So it's 25% if you're not hitting like the ad density around.
Somebody said watching ads is better than subs now. No. Subbing is still the best way to support a streamer. Pretty much no question. But what Twitch is doing is they are de-incentivizing putting all of your time and effort into getting subs, and they're trying to incentivize streamers to play more ads.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Because again, Twitch makes more money on ads than subs.
Yes.
From what we understand, by a large margin. So they're trying to do things, as they have for the last 2 years, they're working on now, and we will see more of in the future, to encourage streamers to run more ads over not doing this. This Partner Program Plus thing was them getting a whole bunch of good PR, but then when people worked out the math, they realized it only applied to like literally 2.5% of streamers.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like they're trying to kind of eat their cake and, have it too by, being like, yay, look, we're helping the sub program, but you still got to run a buttload of ads if you want to make the same amount of money that you did before.
Something that Dan did make a point to bring up was they want to bring that number down. The number of required subscribers, the 350.
Oh, really?
That it's on there. They want to bring it down. That's just the number they started with, and it's the number that seemed most, I guess, financially feasible to them, to the whoever the money people.
Yeah.
What's interesting?
He made a point to say we're trying to bring that down, and I don't know what trying means from the CEO.
I was gonna say, I appreciate the perspective of him saying that, but when you have your hand on the dial for that number, you have all the access to the metrics that show you exactly how many people will get it. You don't try to do anything. You set those numbers where you want them.
Yeah.
And then you keep them there until people complain too much or find out. So trying to bring their number down, they're not.
But doesn't it? I mean,
if they wanted to, they would. Like
everybody answers to somebody, right? Though, like, he has to answer to the board, right? Is that, I'm asking. I'm actually asking. Is that not right?
I would say he answers to Amazon, if anything. But yeah,
I would. We have no idea, and everything we have is conjecture. But my guess is that if you are the head of a company, you probably get more if the company makes more money. So, be it in whatever interest or perspective you choose from, I'm just saying, like if Twitch knew exactly how many people were going to be eligible for that program when they dropped it. You know exactly how many. Yeah. So,
and I would assume that honestly, I would assume that what he means by trying is that trying to please both sides, because it doesn't him no good to piss off streamers, that's a net negative. To fuck us out of shit, because people will leave, people go to their platforms, if it gets too bad, blah 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 blah. So you get trying to find the middle ground. That's what I would do if I was the fucking CEO. I'd be like, okay, I want to make as much money as I can, but I don't want to piss off the people who make us money. So how can I meet in the middle? You seem like I'm way off base. I just said
no. I think you're. Here's the thing. I think you're absolutely right. I think that Twitch is walking the line of how much money can we get out of our viewers and our creators before they get so pissed off they stop creating or stop watching the platform.
They leave.
I think they're walking that line. So the thing is when Dan said they're trying to bring it down, that made it sound like he was fighting and stuff, like go get him. But what it actually means is we're just trying to figure out how much we can get from you without making you angry. So it's not quite the same spirit of the terminology, if you feel me. Does that make more sense?
I guess I'm just more optimistic.
I'm kind of cynical about this. I think that's what it comes about.
People. It has nothing to do with Dan. It has everything to do with these like people run everything. Like you say corporations, you say business, you say this, you say that, but it comes to like they are people, and
Let me say
people
this.
usually aren't just evil, like just like right off
If
the
there-
bat. Like
If there is one thing that has been proven in the last year and a half or so, Dan Clancy was a fantastic pickup for Twitch. He like it's wild how much like he is the decision maker, or at least one of the big decision makers. He is big in there, and the fact that he can make you feel like what you just said, Zeke, he is winning. That is winning right there. Like that is impressively winning. Like I hope he has a fat paycheck because he is killing it.
but the thing is, like I met Emmett Shear. Obviously, I interviewed him. So like I've met heads of Twitch. I've met 2 different ones, and they are like polar fucking opposites of people. Like
that's true.
Like they're
Emmett Shear also was in his position not because he wanted to, but because he just kept getting lifted up, and then he was there. Where Dan Clancy came into that position. Dan Clancy is that position. Like that's what he does. Is that so? He's got that like political savvy. He's got it's his job to be a CEO. Where Emmett Shear like, started as something a little different, and then just kind of like kept getting pushed up and up and up, and then all of a sudden he was there, and then he was like, "Yeah, I'm not very good at this," and left. Which to his credit, he never really that wasn't what he was there to do in the first place. So that's not exactly a bad thing. But yeah, it's just again, I don't say what I say to be cynical. I mean, it comes off as cynical. Don't get me wrong. I just want to make sure that we keep perspective in the reality of the situation, and just like make sure it's understood. Like we can say this stuff about Twitch because they are just a giant corporation these days that do want to make as much money from us as possible. They have shown over and over they want to take as much of our money as possible without us revolting viewers and streamers. And just keep that in mind whenever you're dealing with them. Like that's where we are these days. They're an Amazon-owned company. So it's just make sure we're grounded with this kind of stuff, especially when you hear things like, oh, we're trying to bring it down. It's like, if you were trying, you would have done it. Like if you were trying, then you wouldn't have said this after the fact came out that only 2% of people qualify. Like, so yeah, anyway.
Sure. And I want everybody out there to know, like, I'm optimistic. I'm not gullible. I'm not blind. I'm not a shill or anything like that. I know everybody wants money. I fucking love money. I want all the money I can possibly get. It's great. But like, it's different when you meet like the people that are in like, and I'm not talking about just Dan. I'm talking about like the people who like back in the day like made up Twitch and shit like that. There was people complaining all over the place about Twitch forever since it's been a thing. Everybody complains about it. And then you meet the people and you're like, you find it harder to complain. Like when you meet the dev of like a video game or you have them like talk to you about their passion project and shit like that, it becomes a little bit harder to, shit on it because you realize like it's, what work goes into it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I get that.
Totally fair. Totally fair.
You stopped talking when I clean my glasses, so I can't see shit right now. I don't know where we're looking at or going.
But I agree. Like long story, like if you want my like basic synopsis, I think that yes, Twitch and Amazon and everything has gotten far more greedy, like exponentially more greedy, and sees this platform as something that they can milk. I do believe that way more than they used to, but but see, the thing is, the reason why I'm not crowing about it is because it's not fucking surprising to me. It shouldn't be surprising to anyone. The bigger a business gets, the more money it wants to make, and that's why capitalism ultimately fails for everything. Like, because you can't always keep growing. There's a finite amount of people to build.
Yeah, that's capitalism.
I would agree with you, but how dare you attack my capitalism?
Unbelievable.
No, never again, please.
Unbelievable.
But that's like the thing I thought about. Like, what if Twitch just maintain? Let's try maintaining for like 5 years. Don't worry about it.
over the
Just
last few
maintain-
years. Problem is
no
over the
one,
last few
yeah,
years-
exactly.
No. Twitch has exploded even with the layoffs. I mean, Twitch has exploded in terms of operational cost over the last, basically since the Amazon takeover. So it's kind of like you have to keep making more and more money because you keep hiring more and more people, and it's and you have more and more operations. I mean, who do you think funds all these crazy amounts of changes that we have coming out of TwitchCon Paris? And some of those changes aren't going to make them money. So it's like that's just cost. There's so many arguments to how you can't unfortunately just make money. You have to keep moving forward. You have to stay relevant. You have to keep developing. You have to, all the things.
Yeah.
That's all really expensive.
Yeah.
Is Twitch
Right.
profitable? We had this discussion earlier this morning. Apparently in 2022, Twitch's revenue was 2.8 billion, which is a huge amount of money. Does that mean they're profitable? We have no idea, because revenue does not mean profit, and we do not know their operational costs. I don't think that's a public thing.
Yeah.
So the short answer is nobody knows for sure either way that we've seen. I don't know if that was announced somewhere, but as far as we know, the stuff that's public information, I don't think that that's something anyone really can answer concretely either way.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I heard rumors from like, this is like 6-7 years ago now, like from employees, now ex-employees of Twitch, saying like, Twitch doesn't make money. And I was like, what? Like, no,
That was a thing.
they don't make any money. Like, they're not profitable. You see the
went on for
revenue, you
years.
don't see like, yeah.
Yep, that went around for actual years that Twitch was not making money. They were losing money every year, banking on being profitable someday, from like the big advertisers coming in that never came in, kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, most of the time
maybe that was true. We don't know.
Yeah, most of the time, whenever I've seen Dan go on people's streams and talk about Twitch, the lead sentence is always like, "Yeah, streaming high quality video is super expensive." Right, that's where he begins. So I still think it's 2.8 billion in revenue, but who knows how much it costs to like run all of this on any given day. So
He says, whose fault is that though? It's not the streamer's fault. That's true. That's true. It's not the streamer's fault. But at the same time, the thing you have to keep in mind is if you have, 1,000 viewers, 5,000, 10,000 viewers, someone is paying to get that image onto a server and then delivered to all those people. Someone's paying for that. So it depends on, at that point, like, is the company paying enough in ads? How many people are being employed to get that image to those many places? How many people are being employed to develop stuff so people keep watching the site to get the image to places to pay for that? Like, there's lots and lots and lots of factors. Streaming is not free. Never will be. So, someone has to pay for it, and Twitch is the one paying for it. So, like somebody else just said in chat a minute ago, maybe that's why Twitch has been pushing so much profitability over the last few years. Maybe the last few years has been Twitch making a hard push at trying to become profitable, so Amazon doesn't sell them to a company we've never heard of. Like, maybe that's what's going on. Could they be public about that? Who knows? And also real quick, to address something else, the whole like, oh no, Twitch doesn't pay anything because they're owned by Amazon and Amazon owns those servers. No, Twitch is an entity under the Amazon umbrella. When they use AWS, that is a bill to Twitch. Like that, the idea that like, oh, streaming's free because using AWS. No, that still cost Amazon money because they have to run the AWS servers, and all the stuff they're doing for Twitch means they're not doing that for other people to sell that product to them. So it's really this weird fallacy to assume that because Amazon owns Twitch, that, I mean, it might be a little bit cheaper because maybe they get good rates, but it's still costing them huge amounts of money.
yeah,
Put it to you this
That's
way.
just not.
When I worked at Chuck E. Cheese, they made me pay for my fucking uniform. That's they didn't give me a uniform to wear. I had to pay for that fucking thing, even though I worked at the place.
And I see people saying poor Amazon, but keep in mind, Amazon is a faceless corporation. They're here to make money. So the idea is that if that cost to run Twitch doesn't make them money, it's not poor Amazon, it's poor everyone who uses Twitch, because they're just going to stop paying for Twitch. Like, they're there to make money, they're not a charity. They're not a charity to keep Twitch's lights on. So it's like it very much, it's not poor Amazon, it's like poor us, because we're not going to get this stuff because they're not happy with their purchases. So Corpo's gonna.
I
Corpo,
hope
man.
all of you out there that are streamers, if you watch this show, like I hope you're putting away gold like fucking Ron Swanson, like just burying it all over in different places, so you have something to fall back on. Because I've been ready for this. Like I've been a doomsday
You're
prepper
prepping?
on Twitch for 10 years.
Ooh, we got
I've been
prepper.
saying the end is nigh, and I'm gonna be
Hey,
right.
So wait, are you gonna
I'm gonna
start
be right one
like?
of these days.
We got a
Are you-
prepper.
Yeah, I know. He's gonna start selling us like for the low price of $24 a month. I will give you 2,400 calories per day in your thing. 25-year shelf life. Buy gold because the economy's gonna collapse. That's the only thing that's gonna keep your portfolio looking good. Oh my lord, man. Whew.
Might be good. Might be good.
Do it.
I think that's kind of everything out of TwitchCon Paris, apart from like the different shows and everything that they were in. I don't know. Did you guys see anything else over the past 48 hours? I want to say the closing ceremony has already happened. So I don't think there was any
Is it
other
already over?
announcements there. I mean, it would be what, like 8
Is
p.m.?
it 2 days or 3 days?
I think it's 2.
Harry, what time is it?
Yeah, Barry, you
Barry
still
would know.
watching? Is it done? Barry's in Paris, for those curious why we're asking him. He doesn't just know all. I mean, he
I mean,
does
he does
kind of
most
know
of the
all,
time,
but
but
yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say.
He does kind of know all. It's 8:28, 2 days. Yeah, it's probably over
It was only 2 days. Okay.
if not being close to being done. I really want to know from Barry like how, because he was on the show floor, he was talking with people and doing that stuff. I want to know like how busy it was, because he's been to every TwitchCon, I think, at this point. Kind of curious what his thoughts on it are.
Also, what you posted, JP. Yeah, let's absolutely talk about that.
Cool. Yeah,
That's big.
let's use that and dive into it. This was the 3rd of July, so maybe Monday.
About a week ago.
Yeah, about a week ago. Kick.com, the big streaming competitor, picked up XQC for 100 million, a bunch of other streamers as well, for lots of money. They have added content filters onto their website. You can enable them in their settings. The 2 content preferences are simple checkboxes. The first one being hide pools, hot tubs, and bikinis. And the second one being hide slots and casino. And those are opt-in, not opt-out. So you have to opt in to hide those. It's not by default. I have my thoughts on this. I'm curious as to your thoughts, so I can temper my thoughts to not cause a shitstorm.
Okay.
I think they should have a button that says show only.
Ooh. Okay.
I like that. So basically, you know how it is now. So it's here are my thoughts on this. Kick, everyone knows is Stake made Kick.
Yeah.
Stake is the giant gambling faceless organization that's just literally funding it and pumping money into it. I think that Kick has said some pretty important things recently for people that are concerned about that. First, it came out that they claim that XQC's the biggest contract they have does not involve any gambling.
Right.
Which I think is interesting if that's true. Second of all, funny enough, it came out later that another person who went over there actually did have contracted gambling in his contract. So, you know, it kind of balances out there a little bit. Then they announced verbatim that they what was it? It was the big announcement before this one about Stake. How they were not going to be that's right. They weren't going to start running gambling ads on there. So they weren't going to start running any Stake related ads.
Yeah.
They were going to keep that separate, which I think a lot of people, including myself, kind of raised an eyebrow, because there was definitely a part of me who always thought that the plan was to get a whole bunch of viewers there and then basically pummel them with gambling ads. I'm going to be real. I thought that was one of the reasons they were making it. And then they come out with this to hide slots and nudity. Now, because it's opt-in, that means that very few people are going to use it. Let's be real. If it were opt-out, I think it'd be a lot more impressive. But what I think is, it looks like they're taking baby steps in trying to distance themselves as much as possible from Stake.
Yeah.
And what I'm interested in is how far they're going to go with that. Like, is it actually going to get to a point where they've taken enough steps away from Stake where maybe advertisers pick up and start advertising? All of a sudden, Kick is actually supporting itself. Stake stops funding them, And then we actually have a Twitch competitor that came from not maybe the best place, but it's like we keep seeing them take more and more steps away from stake. And will it actually get to and maybe at that point they're like, you know what? Sorry, Aiden, like your time here is done. Like we're actually going to become a legitimate platform. You know, like the Aidens and all that kind of stuff get kicked off.
Yeah.
Like I wonder how far they're going to really try to take this. And it's going to be they have no question started moving that direction. So I think I speak for many people when I'm thinking like, how far are you going to go with this, man? Like, how serious are you about this? Essentially, you're clearly trying to change your public image. How far are you going to go with that?
Right.
And are you going to stick by it?
Part of me looks at what they, with that announcement of adding those two things and like how much of that was fueled by the, like, we're sticking it to Twitch with this.
That's where it was born from.
Yeah,
That
I
was
know.
literally why the site exists.
That it just seemed so much of like I think placating is the word I want to use. Like it was just like, hey guys, look at us, we're doing it, guys. Everyone, look at, we're doing it, guys. Everyone, yay, go us! It's like,
Buddy,
come on, man, this motherfucker just did lines of cocaine live on air to 16,000, and you're over here putting some fucking toggles on. Like, what are we doing?
Not wrong. Not wrong, dude.
What is this shit? It's so stupid.
That's not wrong. That's specifically why I said the word baby in front of steps.
Yeah.
Like, it's little things. It's little placations, little stuff here and there. You know, will they, hell, maybe that's going to be all we see from them. But I mean, you're absolutely right. The entire platform was born from sticking it to Twitch.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of it.
It was.
So and right now there's no way it's profitable. Absolutely no way. It's 100% supported by the way, for those that were thinking I was saying steak like the food, I'm talking about steak, STAKE, the gambling website.
Yeah.
Not like delicious meat. So
I'd go to that streaming platform.
I would, oh God. if there was a streaming platform supported by actual steak, like delicious meat steak, I would stream on that platform. I'm sorry.
Pretty good.
I would go for big steak. Anyway, moving on. Now that I'm hungry.
Yeah.
But yeah, so right now, the only thing that Kick could really do is they're obviously not going to make any money on subs, and they've pledged to stick to their 95-5 split. And they're never, I mean, they have a drop in the bucket of the amount of Twitch subs that actually exist. There's no way that would cover operating costs.
Yeah.
They'd have to get advertisers, which they have said is coming. They've said advertisers are coming. But of course we have to actually see that.
Yeah, I feel like that's someone in a room. Advertisers are coming. Right, guys?
I know. And here's the thing about that. When you say advertisers are coming, but your site has been running for months without advertisers, and you're paying the bill the entire time, it's kind of like, so why aren't they here?
Yeah.
Why are they not here if they're like your mod check advertisers?
Yeah.
It's a little strange. So, but yeah, we'll have to, and also it's going to be very interesting because one of the reasons I think that a lot of people keep shouting Kick from the rooftops, those that do, is because there are no ads on the platform. They don't have to watch ads. So what's going to happen all of a sudden when Kick starts running ads? Like a huge, probably double-digit percentage of Kick viewers are going to be like, nope, yes, don't care that much. Like ads suck, and I want nothing to do with this. Like it's gonna be a thing for sure. And then there's all sorts of questions. How are they going to implement them? Are streamers going to get cuts of those too? Because like, are you going to give really streamers a 95-5 split and then a percentage of ad cuts on top of that? Like, you know, and then how much money are you going to be making to run your service? Like so many unknowns and questions about this.
Yeah.
It's going to be a thing. It's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Also, how are our advertisers going to feel about the fact that they can turn off parts of the website via checkboxes? Is that a good or bad thing? Like, you know, it's lots of questions.
I guess it depends on the advertisers in a lot of ways.
Somebody just said Amazon Prime, except it's using the stake gambling platform instead.
So what? Like you do one slot and you get to support
yeah,
a
like
stream?
do one slot and get a free Kick sub. Oh no.
Oh jeez.
Oh no.
Oh, if you sign up for the Stake Club card or whatever.
Do they have a subscription service on Stake?
I don't know, but
I don't know.
know
I've never
most
gone to
casinos
the
have a
website.
card, like have a membership card.
It would
that
be
you take
Stake
to the
Prime.
casino and you slide
They
in
would
there
even-
and shit.
I bet you they'd even call it Stake Prime if they did that, just
That'd
to
be
stick it
pretty
to Twitch
good.
even more.
Probably.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Medium rare steak.
And then, oh, you know what would be even wilder if they did that? That would make every single streamer an advertisement for Steak. Because they would be saying like, oh, do you have your Steak Prime subs? Oh, what's Steak? Well, Steak is this website you can go to. Blah, blah, blah. Oh my god, dude.
Sorry, I'm loading the website. I like how when you load the website, Drake is just all over it.
Oh, yeah.
the music, the music singer. Just,
Drake is on Steak.
yeah, Drake and Steak.
Oh,
What is he gonna make?
Drake was on. Oh wow, really?
A lake?
Thanks, Dr. Zekus. Drake was on Kick,
Yeah, he's
giving
sponsored.
out subs to other streamers. And correct me if I'm wrong. I think he was playing Steak on Kick.
Yeah,
Yeah. So he is like that. He is bought and paid for. Like he is a man of the stake.
yeah.
He is in
I mean,
the
it's-
pocket.
It's no different than all the people that are sponsored by DraftKings that are on Amazon and
Very
or
true.
even on Twitch. Like it's all over. It's
But
Twi-
it's unregulated.
that's the thing. It's
unregulated.
unregulated. Yeah. It's the gambling
Jeez,
stuff is
have
everywhere.
a little decency.
Thanks, Helium Co.
Sure.
We'll see. We'll see what happens with all that. Did you guys see that the Rainbow Six cheater that got banned 80 times and then swatted the Ubisoft Montreal offices got 3 years in prison?
Whoa.
How do you get banned 80 times?
I don't know. I guess he kept making a new account or something. But yeah, he got 3 years and allegedly more than 80 times, according to a Polygon article.
Actually, kind of impressive. Like you got to have some dedication.
Yeah.
Like my lord, dude.
Yeah, he
My
got
Lord.
he got 3 years. Oh, sorry, 3 years of community service. Little different than
Oh, no jail time.
yeah, 3 years of community service from Paris court. Yeah, I mean, I think the three of us would have a little bit of bias in terms of saying that might not be enough, but I guess consequences are
wow.
always good for that type of shit. Is all I will say on that that matter.
Yeah.
That was some of the bigger news. Okay, I gotta ask. Why was a
Okay.
bear fucking a vampire this past week on my
I was
social
hoping we'd
feed?
bring
What
this
was
up.
what was
Be-
going on?
Because players' choice, JP, respect it.
Yeah,
And for the record, Chat is the one. Well, Chat and Jesse Cox are the ones that made that happen.
okay.
Made it happen. Made what happen? What part of it? Like made
don't
it
know.
popular or like spread the or
Jesse Cox dropped into my channel after it happened.
Okay.
My
Okay.
Twitch channel. He was
Okay.
in the audience. He dropped into my
Okay.
channel and basically said something along the lines of, "You all can thank me for that scene." And I PM'd him and I said, "What exactly, in all caps, did you mean by
Uh-huh.
that comment, Jesse?" And he sent me a smiling face with horns.
okay.
He was involved in the motion cap, I think is what he
You-
means.
I'm pretty sure he mocapped the bear.
Oh,
He might have
I
been.
think,
the
Okay.
I think Jesse mocapped the bear. I
Okay.
know I mocapped the squirrel. We did 9 takes of me dropping that nut.
There you go.
I think they went with a good one.
Yeah.
But it was I don't know. I think real talk. It was
Combined effort.
it was chat led. Chat
Okay.
drove them to that moment. But Sven, we all know you knew what was going to happen when you put that scene up there. so chat led them to that moment. And I'm pretty sure at one point somebody in the audience was yelling for them to select an option, and I wonder if that was Jesse. Like
Might
was
have been.
like pick number 1, like F the bear. So I'm not sure, but yeah. Anyway, TLDR, the Bethesda Baldur's Gate 3 show was essentially showing player choice. It was a love scene between the vampire and the druid got excited and became a bear. and then went back to human form and was like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry. When I get excited, sometimes I shapeshift uncontrollably. I'm so sorry." And then chat chose to respond as a vampire. "No, it's cool. You do your thing." And then the bear said some very lewd lines in response to that, about things being larger in bear form, etc., etc. And then they leaked out the rest. Funny story. They were also live on TikTok during this, and TikTok has banned Larian Studios from their platform.
China don't want that
Goddamn.
vampire bear fornication. No fornicating over there. Sure.
Dude, and like if anybody's getting like people are getting outraged, or I don't even know, outraged, grossed out, whatever you're getting, like
They're
the negative
grossed
feelings
out.
you're getting for this, like it means you probably have never played a tabletop role-playing game in your life, because
Correction.
weird shit happens, dude.
You've never played a role-playing tabletop game with Zeke.
Yes.
I would argue that weird shit happens at every table.
With Zeke.
At least once
majority of
until the rules are until the DM's like, let's not do that again. I didn't enjoy that. Or a
So,
player
funny
was like,
enough-
let's not do that again. I didn't enjoy that.
There have been multiple public outcries. Specifically, there was a person that was like, "I am refunding my pre-order. I'm not okay with this.
Really?
Like, this is over the line." There's been a few of those. However, I think it is important to point out that I believe that now they have recruited most likely an army of furries. And also, I believe there was at least one person in the Southeast United States that was like, "Wait, I can a bear? What's a computer and how do I get one?"
yeah. He needs it. Or a PS5. That's you know. Oh God! What?
But
aside
so
from the bear fucking, what else did they show at this whole thing? Like,
tons of stuff.
Yeah.
So, oh man, I will say one thing that was super unfortunate is they had serious tech issues. The game was running at like 15 FPS for the majority of the show, which sucks when it's like your last big showcase. They kind of got it working at the end, but it never really looked great.
Oh, that's.
But no, they went over all sorts of things. They went over you're gonna be able to respec. There's multi-classing. They went over the difficulties. There's a story difficulty, a normal difficulty, and tactician. And in tactician, they didn't just make enemies have more stats. They actually changed, like they went back through all the encounters and changed them. So like some of them now have like explosive barrels, or maybe they gave like scrolls. Or at one point they were like, "Yeah, maybe we gave an owl bear a grenade." And it's like, I'm sorry, what? Don't do that, please. But yeah, so that was they covered all sorts of fun things. They announced the Dragonborn race, which looks incredible.
Nice. Okay.
They went over the new character customization stuff, which all looks fantastic. They talked about the monk a little bit. I'm sorry, Bugbear, not Owlbear. Thank you. Bugbear, not Owlbear. Split screen multiplayer, which is super cool as well. Went over like
is that console only, or is that everything?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't think so.
Okay.
There's a new okay, so this is cool. There's an origin called the Dark Urge.
Yeah.
And when in most origin stuff from Larian, you can either have an origin character in your party or play an origin character. If you play an origin character, you're race locked, you're class locked most of the time. You have like a whole backstory, that character has motivations, that kind of thing. Well, now there's an origin story called the Dark Urge, and you can play any race or class with it. And what it does is it's kind of like this evil, malicious spirit that lives in your head, and you randomly get like dialogue options and stuff to enact on it. So what they showed, for instance, is in the main game, like this portal, you're walking down the road and this portal appears and this guy puts his hand out and you can grab the hand and help pull the guy out. And that's one of the origin characters. His name is Gage or something. He's like a wizard guy. Gale. His name's Gale.
Okay. Yeah.
And they showed the Dark Urge. And when the hand came out of the portal, the guy that was playing Dark Urge walks up and it's like, the very first option was like envisioning ripping this hand from its stem. And then the guy clicked it. And of course, Amelia Tyler in all of her amazing glory then narrates this thing where it's like you lean back and envision ripping this hand from its stub, blood splattering all over the place. You come back to reality to realize you enacted on your dream. And you actually get the hand of this character, and the guy is like, "Oh God, what have you done?" And the portal disappears.
Oh shit, that's cool.
And you get his hand in your inventory.
Huh.
So apparently, like now, what's super cool, and I'm gonna put up my spoiler hand for a second. This is a Baldur's 1 and Gate 2 spoiler.
Okay.
There's a big thing about Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 is that you're this thing called a ball spawn, which is essentially like the unholy union / son of one of these dark gods.
Okay.
That's like a big theme in the first two games. And a lot of people are thinking that that origin story might actually be this game's version of that. So you can be the same type of character that was in 1 and 2, like as your own design character in this game.
That's
That
sick.
turns out to be the case. That is freaking awesome.
Yeah, that's sick.
And they even said, like, even though you're getting all these dark urges and dark emotions, you don't have to play bad. Like, you can ignore them, you can wrestle with them. There's like this whole thing about it. So I will say, I think it'd be very fun to do like a dark / evil playthrough where you force yourself to give in to the urge at all times.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'd kind of guarantee this very creatively dark playthrough from the looks of it. But yeah,
That's awesome.
all in all, it was the last panel from hell, and they did a great job. And it was really, really cool. And of course, they've announced the game now comes out at the end of September, which is just mind-blowingly amazing. So
It,
it was end of July. Excuse me.
yes, yeah. End of July.
Right.
Yeah. I had to,
Oh,
I had
and
to
the
think on that for a
respec
second.
stuff is huge.
So
The
is
fact
it
that
is
they
it full
said-
respec? Like full
They said
class,
full
race?
respec. They said, yeah.
all of
So
it?
what they did is they talked about the respecing because they were talking about multi-classing, and they wanted to give people the freedom to be able to like try stuff and see what works. They straight up said like multi-classing will be in the game, and you will be able to make a multi-class that essentially sucks because sometimes things just don't work well together. So we're going to let you try that and then respec when you want to do that. Now, of course, I don't think they went into the exact mechanics of how they're going to allow that.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if you just talk to a person in your camp, and I don't know if it's free, like maybe it goes up a little bit or costs something, but they did specifically say that you'd be able to respec your entire character.
Cool. Okay. That's great. That's great.
And I would assume, somebody said, what about stats? I would assume that means stats as well. As obviously, you know, if you started as a warrior with strength stats and you wanted to respec as a mage, kind of counterproductive if you couldn't change your stats as well.
Cool. Okay. Well, I don't have an actual date to announce, but I shared with you yesterday. We'll probably have Sven on before the game launches, whenever that is. Whenever that happens.
You got like 2
We have
weeks.
2 or 3
Yeah.
weeks. Yeah. But he'll be coming on. I was talking with him yesterday, so we'll have that happen in the next 2 / I don't think they'd want to come on the 30th because the game launches the very next day and early. If that
I would
actually
say-
happens, I'd be surprised.
It's
But
a little
maybe.
soon, but I would shoot for next week if you could. Like, they're
Yeah,
going to need as
yeah.
much time as they can get, like
Yeah.
as soon as we get close to release. So
We'll see what happens. Cool. That's the Baldur's Gate 3 stuff. What else happened this past week? Oh, Yuji Naka got sentenced to 2.5 years in prison and 4 years probation, as well as fines of 2 million and 171 million yen. Okay, so that's a thing that
is
happened.
Eugene the Rainbow Six guy?
No. Yuji Naka is the Sonic guy that was in Japan that got the co-creator of Sonic.
Oh, the copyright guy.
Yeah, the Sega guy. Yeah.
Oh,
Balan Wonderland, bro.
Oh, ouch! Dang.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where if you go to court in Japan, you're
guilty.
You're guilty.
Play Judgment. If you haven't played Judgment, play Judgment.
Yeah,
Awesome. Yeah.
it's a big deal over there. The conviction rates are incredibly high.
97%, yeah.
Yeah.
JP, if you would, for people that weren't here last week, do you want to give a super quick synopsis about what he did? There's some people trying to ask.
I do not, because I don't want to get
Okay,
it
that's
wrong.
fair.
Let me.
I was trying to toss you a ball. there, man. I've been
Insider
talking a lot
trading.
today.
It was it was insider trading following a trial in Japan. According to IGN Japan, 57-year-old Naka was found guilty of violating Japan's Financial Instruments and Exchange Act for insider trading in connection with the development of a game for publisher Square Enix. Following a trial held at the Tokyo District Court on July 7, 2023, Judge Madoka Haruta issued a 2.5-year prison sentence, suspended for 4 years, as well as 2 fines of 2 million yen, which is $14,000 approximately USD, and 170 million yen, 1.1 million approximately. He was arrested in November for suspected insider trading relating to an investment made while working at Square Enix. He allegedly bought 10,000 shares in developer aiming at a value of around $20,000 ahead of the announcement of the Dragon Quest Tact mobile game in partnership with Square Enix. Got it. So he knew the game was basically going to be announced with a company and bought the shares at a very low price. And he was found guilty for that. And now he's going to prison for 2.5 years. What Overwatch 2 won't be getting any more PvE story missions until at least 2024. That's a headline that is funny. Didn't they just put out like some PvE stuff or say what the fuck is going on with Overwatch 2? Is anyone playing that? How has anyone done any of that? The headline secretly means Overwatch 2 is dead? Probably. Thought they canceled
the PvE stuff. They canceled. They did announce a huge PvE component, and they have since, let's say, walked that back significantly in saying that what they said was going to happen is not going to happen, and instead they're going to do like these little seasonal event kind of things. So yeah, essentially it has been canceled. Yes.
What a mess. Well, we can use that and jump into the Diablo event stream for season 1 that happened. What is season 1 of Diablo 4, Co? What is happening?
Season 1 of Diablo is this new kind of demon gem system where essentially they're going to start making it so sockets on gear are different types of like infested sockets. Like they're going to be different colors, and you'll be able to slot in these hearts that you get from enemies that then add passives and interesting things to your character via those means.
Got it.
That is going to be the big kind of hook.
Yeah.
I think it's called Mal something. Chat can help me out here.
Malignant Tunnel is what I'm saying.
Malignant, yes. And a man attributed that to his butt at some point also. Just thought you should know that. Yeah, Malignant. There we go.
Great.
Maligma. What's Maligma? Anyway, so it's
that's a great one.
So that's the main thing. They also talked more about the season, not the season pass. Well, kind of the season pass, the battle pass kind of thing. One thing that is kind of cool that I certainly didn't know about is you're going to be adding aspects to the progression of the season pass thing. So as you actually do more and accomplish more in your character, you're going to unlock aspects that you can then put on your gear, which is kind of cool. Aspects are the same thing you get from dungeons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And they're going to be adding more of those in the season as well, which is cool. They did talk more about how Renown is going to work. It's not. I think they had pretty much already announced this, but Renown is basically going to be you're going to have to, after a certain date, you're going to have to log in your character one time, or all of your characters that have the most progress in the different areas. And when you log in your character after this certain date, which I want to say is the 18th, then it will then add that character to your account's total progress. And moving forward, that will always be unlocked in your Renown for seasons and things moving forward.
Cool. Okay.
So they did say that to move from the old to the new system, you will have to log that in. So as hardcore players are finding out, like, don't die until the 18th.
Oh God. Okay.
But yeah, you will have to log. Basically, if you have like one character that has 30 Lilith statues and one character who's exposed the entire map, you'll want to log both those characters in after the 18th, and it will combine all their progress into your account. Cool. So that's how it's going to work. So just they established that, which is cool. There will be like, I believe there's going to be like an adventure mode kind of dealy, which is good as well. And yeah, they went over some of the premium stuff, the paid stuff. Now, one thing that I personally didn't like, I think some people said that they actually did like this. I'm going to go ahead and say I was not in this camp. They did decide that these campfire chats are going to involve. Yeah, I know, right?
How like that? What a fucking meme! Like it's just a massive meme.
It's really hard.
Yeah. No, it's always the most expensive thing is the best value. You know that, right?
Of course, always.
It's the best value.
They did bookend the devs the fireside chat with basically like the beginning was like 15 to 20 minutes of Diablo Immortal.
Oh,
and then
really?
during the Q&N session at the end, they brought back the Immortal devs to like answer some questions about Immortal. Personally, I hated that. I think people that play Immortal people that know about Immortal fall into two categories. Either they play it or they absolutely hate it and don't want to hear about it ever again for any reason at any source or point of view.
Sure.
So it's a little bit weird that they're trying to like jam those together for these. Chat was going obviously crazy during the Immortal part about how terrible it was and how much it sucked. And
so that new class that was announced, that's for Immortal?
Yes.
Oh my God. I saw that on Twitter and I was like, hey, we're getting a new class. That's fucking
You're not
exciting.
getting a new class for
That's
free.
so
Are you
cool.
crazy? No, they actually made a point to mention that they have
Oh,
not announced any
man.
classes for D4. Nope, that is 100% an immortal class.
Man, even I saw like 5 seconds of the cutscene. I was like, this looks cool as hell. This is great. We're getting a new class so
Yep.
quick. Man.
Absolutely not. No. But hey, you can always play Immortal if you wanted to play it.
I wonder how many people. Let's see. How is Immortal doing?
Oh, it's doing great.
Is it?
It's still it's doing well enough for them to put it at the front of their freaking fireside. Like, oh my God, dude. I'm sure it's making them tons of money. Yeah, oh, I'm sure. I would be baffled if it wasn't like one of their most money-making projects right now.
This is, how old is this? June 20th. Came out and said Diablo Immortal has made $525 million in its first year. It earned 22 million downloads worldwide, according to data.ai. China is reportedly the largest market for Immortal, with 37% of revenue generated in this region. The United States is also significantly contributing to the growth, making up around 24% of total revenue.
And obviously, the point of the fireside was they want to expose as many possible players as they can to Immortal.
To download it, yeah.
Which makes sense.
You got 2 weeks of downtime. Here, go play Immortal. You got a whole game to play on your phone.
Pretty
much. Diablo on the go. Also,
and look, we just gave you this free new class.
There's a brand new class you could jump in and play.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Marketing.
But that being said, I will say I still enjoyed watching the fireside. It is nice. The informal, unprofessional, like it's nice. It's a nice change of pace from like the very PR heavy kind of events. And they did give good information on Season of the Malignant, which is their next one. And yeah, I mean it's still they make it fun to watch. They're pretty chill about it.
I'm trying to see where this opinion piece came from. Maybe it was Polygon, or maybe it was Kind of Funny.
Oh,
put out a video.
Wait, did they officially say that?
Say what?
Rex in my channel says it was a dev update, not a fireside. So that was not a okay.
Yeah, they have some naming aspects.
Sorry.
The one prior was the fireside, but this was the dev update. Yeah.
Okay. Which was basically the same thing as the fireside.
It's the same thing. It's just a different moniker. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Essentially, the opinion piece was, the way that I took it as a PoE player, was non-PoE players being exposed to the PoE seasonal update and then posing the question, am I going to re-level again with this new update and start from scratch? Or am I just going to skip the season? And I was like, hey, I've seen that conversation before. I know that whole process. And so I'm now curious, like, are you going to jump back in with this new season and start leveling all over again from 1? As someone who played a lot of Diablo 4, I think I asked you a while back the same question. You said no, pretty emphatically, if I recall. Did what you see from the announcement change at all?
I will say that it's funny because I do like the main story, and they're essentially PoEing the game, except with the option to skip the main story. I think that I probably will play it a little bit to see how impactful the gem stuff is. Also, apparently, they have termed themselves, a super chunky patch that is also coming with the first season. So maybe they'll make some changes. Yeah,
okay.
Just patch in general.
Oh, cool.
Maybe I'll log in and say that or see that. I don't know. I don't like. It's weird because I certainly wouldn't have the same goals that I had the first time I played. So I'm not really sure. Like I will say I would have been a lot more interested in this if they would have announced, like, yeah, there's a bunch of new world bosses to fight at high level, or we're adding a new end game mechanic, or, you know, like the stuff they've actually announced, or they do say battle a new boss there at the bottom, which I don't know if they talked about the new boss.
Let's see.
But I will say that one thing that was
Varshan the Consumed. That's it.
Yeah, one thing that kind of made me lose interest in the base Diablo game was that I got towards the end game, did everything in the end game multiple times, and I was just kind of like, and I stopped setting goals. That's when I know I'm running out of steam in a game, is when I no longer have a long-term goal. And I will say that from this, outside of the quest line, which I will probably do the new quest line. They introduced a new character. That stuff seems like it could be cool. Like, I'm sure it's not going to be the same length as a base game, but I will at least do the new quest line. Unless they kind of lead that into some new interesting endgame thing that has, like, you know, a place to go to the end. I just don't know what would keep me playing it.
Yeah.
I don't really have any new goals to set outside of maybe if I'm really enjoying my class and there's a specific build that I want to realize or something. I don't even know what class I'm going to play yet. So, you know, we'll see.
I am so interested to see what happens when you take like the Path of Exile formula in terms of seasonal content and whatnot and expose that to the Diablo player base that has never been exposed to that before. Like, are they going to immediately jump back in and want to re-level something new? Or is it just going to be like, well, I don't want to do any of this again. I've already done this. Give me my character that exists that's powerful because I've already created that character and he's powerful. I don't want to do this all over again.
Well, I mean, D3 had seasons.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily the same, was it? Like, I didn't play much D3 in seasonal content. Was it the same style of content in terms of what PoE offered?
I think if you were to say it was a blueprint for what D4 is doing, I think that would, you know, it's
that's safe to say. Okay,
they're carrying it over. Yeah,
got it.
Except, as some people in chat are saying, it's the same between the two games, but D3s were like smaller versions of PoE.
That's what I always thought. Yeah, that's
not. I mean, they still had the similar stuff, but I don't think they were quite just on the scope.
Got it. I also think too that player base wise, season 1 of Diablo 3 was pretty tarnished because like the real money auction house and everything existed, where this game has been a fairly successful launch across the board. And PoE exists now, right? So there's an alternative. On the other side of things, I'm also excited for PoE to probably have their biggest season of all time whenever they announce their new season because of how successful Diablo 4 was. And now there's going to be like competition.
We got UE2 stuff around the corner. People getting excited, man.
Yeah. I thought they were going to launch this on ExileCon weekend, which is the 28th. But it's coming out
a lot
the
of
weekend
people,
before.
they're trying to get a leg up. Exactly. I got to say this, and this is something I don't think they're doing this, and it blows my mind they're not. Like, how is PoE not doing seasons even now, where it's like, if you accomplish these goals in the season, then we'll unlock these cosmetics for you in
for PoE 2. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
everything carries
that
over,
would,
right? So
it does, but like they love their FOMO. Like,
yeah.
like time limited stuff and stuff like. I just, if they wanted to inflate their numbers for their
they could lean
their
into
updates
that
right
marketing.
now. Oh God, it would be ridiculous. I know chat is going, no. Oh wait, time out. Chat is saying they are doing that.
Well, the seasonal challenge stuff always carries over.
I'm not talking about general challenges.
Yeah,
I'm talking about stuff that is season specific that would be available in PoE 2 specifically. So I realize that if I'm not wrong here, every cosmetic you open in PoE carries over to PoE 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, they could like make some really fancy, nice ones that are designed for like PoE 2, PoE 2's engine and stuff. You know, like super nice ones, and really promote them, kind of thing.
Yeah. Put the marketing.
I don't think they've done anything like that yet.
Yeah. I don't think so. That's coming up later this month though with the ExileCon stuff. I think
let's wait for PoE 2. I think most people are waiting for PoE 2. That's the thing.
28th and 29th. Yeah. Probably. Aren't we getting a beta date during ExileCon? Isn't that the big rumor? Or I don't. Chad, you'll have to fill me in on if that's the case. We are. Okay.
That's the rumor.
Maybe. We are / maybe is what I'm seeing. So that's cool. I like competition in that space. It would have been very interesting if that launched the day prior to ExileCon, though, which I think everyone thought they were going to do. What else news-wise? Street Fighter VI sold 2 million copies. Before you think that's all, that is massively successful for a fighting game. That is crazy numbers for a fighting game to have 2 million copies this quick out of the gate. So huge.
Fighting games like are they on a high note right now, or are they?
Yes.
Like as far as people
The
playing
fight,
fighting
this
games.
this is like the golden age of fighting games. Like people are
Really? Okay.
they're having
Okay.
yeah. You've got Street Fighter, you've got Tekken 8 coming up. You got Mortal Kombat, even though that was kind of a it wasn't the greatest like closed beta thing that they had, but they're going to try and fix it. That's coming out soon. They're doing good. Fighting gamers are very pleased. And Evo's coming up. I think Evo's next month. And they announced that they had like record numbers of people for Street Fighter signups. I think they tweeted a GIF of like the like Vegeta Nappa meme of like over 9,000. So that means they had over 9,000 people sign up for the Street Fighter 6 tournament, which is insane because that means 9,000 people go through a tournament in 3 days' time. And that's like, that's just stupid. That's crazy that's how many people are going through that tournament. 9,000 people are going to be whittled down to a single top 8 to happen on the final. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And Capcom offering up $1 million for first place kind of is the reason why.
With that many matches, I mean, is that like, I don't know how fatiguing it is. I'm sure it is.
Oh, it's a nightmare, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, like I would imagine like even like the most skilled players after, fucking fighting their way through 9,000 people. Holy shit.
Yeah, I don't know much about like the tournament format. I want to say they started off in like group play, and then that whittles down like a pretty sizable chunk. And I don't know where they start round of at, if it's like round of 128 or 256 or what. But it's all like pool or group play initially, and it's a crazy amount. 100% stamina comes into play because you're going to be starting your tournament play at like 7 a.m. or 6 a.m. every morning in Vegas. Fuck that. Right? That's
But you got to think like, I mean, they're probably like, that's probably what they do all day, every day anyways, right?
They,
Like,
they do play a
8 to
lot of
10
Street
hours a
Fighter,
day. You just fucking do that anyway. So like, this is
yeah.
probably nothing new. I didn't even think about that. It's
Yeah.
I'm wrong.
Anything else? Oh, we did talk Final Fantasy 16. Have either of you played with that patch yet? Co, I think you finished the game before the patch came out, right? Did you finish the day of the
Yes,
patch?
The day before.
Oh
my God,
I
dude.
kept. The nice thing about not finishing the game yet is like, hey, maybe I'll get that patch. I got it, even though I have like 10 hours left or 5 hours left.
I've heard good things.
Yeah?
I've heard good things.
patch for what game?
For 16, for Final Fantasy 16, they removed
okay.
motion blur, or it's a motion blur slider.
Motion blur slider. They changed some of the button configuration options. I think they added 3 more.
Cool.
Apparently, one of them is the one I was looking for.
Oh, really?
So yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check that out.
I don't know.
Mhm.
I actually did check it out. Like I played a little bit of it with the slider and stuff, and it does make a difference.
Yeah.
But for some reason, like, man, like, am I just like playing it on too big of a TV or playing with it too close? But it's so busy. Like every time you're doing something actiony, it's so fucking super busy.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I think that's just correct.
Okay.
I 100% correct. Yeah. Depending on what abilities you're using, that game becomes very confetti like, especially on stream.
Yes. Yeah, no, like fighting it, it's like trying to peek through like a fireworks display, figure out like I was actually talking about this, like that's one of the RPG things, like part of the discussion was like what do I think of Final Fantasy 16, and it just I want it to feel more precise when you're battling than it does, because if it like I want to be able to know when a perfect dodge is coming, but I have to look through, a sparkler to see if someone's going to attack me.
Someone just holding like,
and it's rough. Yeah. It's like, okay, attacking. Okay. We're good. Nope. I didn't dodge. Oh, I perfect dodged on accident. Oh, good.
Yeah.
There are a couple boss fights, not to say they're spoils, but oh my God, dude, the entire fight is just a pixel orgy.
Yeah.
Like there's no other way to say it. It's just like the whole fight is just graphics on graphics on graphics. So you can graphic while you graphic and just mess.
Yeah. There's a lot of that for sure. Zeke, are you done with the game then? Have you stopped? Or are you going to try to finish it?
No.
Done with the game in the sense of like, are you going to put it down? Is what I'm trying to say.
Don't worry about me if you still want to do a spoiler cast, because like go right ahead with whatever.
I think that
but
answers that question.
Yeah.
But honestly, like I
so I'll try to
bounced off
finish
it,
it this
man.
week. Yeah.
I did. I totally did. Like I tried it. I tried to get into it, and I think it's so much. It's like so much movie to watch. Like I'm guessing it eases off, but like they really front load that shit with tons and tons of video, and I'm this sucks. I want to play a game. I don't want to watch a movie.
Yeah.
The thing that for me personally made it, and we talked about this a lot during the playthrough. It's a completely different experience when you're seeing all of that like well mocapped, well voice acted dialogue. It's a completely different experience watching it as opposed to like selecting all the text options between every line. Because somebody asked during my Final Fantasy run, like, man, like, isn't Baldur's Gate 3 going to be just like this? Isn't it going to, if you're getting tired of this, because I said the exact same thing, Zeke, where it's just like sometimes when you have like a 10-minute conversation of two people talking, that's all they're doing. And it's like, not all of it's even that interesting. It's kind of tiring, right? You kind of start losing focus. But no, I feel like it's going to be interesting to see if with the 174 hours of mocap cinematics in Baldur's Gate, if it's like, that's going to make a big difference being able to select all the text options. But
yeah,
we'll have to see, man.
Yeah. I think what you guys are saying is there definitely comments I've seen about the game. And I think I can't refute them, right? Like you either like that or you don't without question.
Sure.
That is the game. It is very much like, hey, you're going to watch a 10-minute cutscene now. That's what's going to happen.
So fair point from Blissful Dan. Says, Zeke, my brother in Christ, you played the entire of the Yakuza series. And I that is true. I did play the entire Yakuza series. But I come into the Yakuza games expecting that to be the point, is the story. Like that's why like the action takes a back seat to the story in the Yakuza games for me. Whereas Final Fantasy, I prefer the game to take precedent over the story, because the story in most, like, you know what?
No. Here's what I'll say. Look, I'll say what you don't want to, because I think you don't maybe want to take the brunt of what chat might get upset at you for saying this. You're just more interested in Yakuza. You enjoy the story content more than you do Final Fantasy. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like you care what happens in Yakuza for 10 minutes of cutscenes. You don't give a shit about Final Fantasy. That's fine.
Yeah,
like it's cool. No one cares.
Yeah.
I
guess that's a good way to say it, rather than what I was gonna say. Yeah. I was gonna say Final Fantasy is fucking stupid, and anybody who likes it should go like masturbate in the corner, all right? Because I don't want to hear your dumb comments. Okay.
Yeah.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Yeah, you're allowed to dislike and like things. Yeah. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
just like I'm right here.
Yeah.
I mean, like just any corner.
Any corner. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I like Zeke. I'm the complete opposite. I tried to play Yakuza and I bounced off of it, but I stuck to Final Fantasy. That's just interests are different. That's how it goes. And I think that's kind of like I've always said with Final Fantasy 16. If you enjoyed 14, you're really gonna like 16. Doesn't matter about the gameplay because the storytelling is like so similar in both those games.
You're absolutely right. And I slogged my way through the main story of 14 back when I did it. And I got to max level and I was like, I felt like I climbed a mountain. I was like, okay, I'm done now. I don't need to do anything else. And I put it away and never picked it up again.
Yeah. It happens. That's how it goes.
It's weird. Ever since you made the comparison, I actually it's kind of weird how much more I was engaged with the filler content in Yakuza. Like I definitely, I don't know why. I find the characters much more dynamic.
There's a bit of like what's the word?
I don't know.
Spice
I don't know.
to I think the Yakuza content where it's like fun, whereas in 16 it's kind of like man, this is real depressing world, right? Yeah, it's pretty depressing world. You want to hear some depressing shit? Yeah, let's hear some depressing shit. Well, I'm
wrong.
so depressed that some people over there in Yakuza's like, I've got some diapers. You want to wear them? Yeah. Right. The two games are so different tonally.
Yeah,
that-
they really are. But well, to be fair though, like it's interesting because there's no question, and maybe this is kind of what I meant by dynamic without realizing it, is there are those moments, and that's a lot of the moments, but there's also really serious, really dark, really heart tugged, like super exciting, super endearing.
in Yakuza, you mean?
in Yakuza. I feel like it covers more of the gambit of emotion. Where I felt like Final Fantasy 16 kind of picked a few themes and just rode them into the ground.
Yeah.
That was like the theme. You got like heroism, depression, and helplessness, and then like let's go, and where Yakuza games are all over the place. You never know what to expect.
Yeah.
Or what's going to come out of what you're doing. So
yeah.
I don't know. It was it was still good. I still liked it, but yeah, different flavors for sure. Different flavors of ice cream.
I'm very interested in what happens in about 5 months to hear those discussions of like where once the dust has settled, people have finished Final Fantasy and like the community can take out the recency bias and like look back and see where it falls. That's where I want to see the conversation be. I haven't finished it yet. I will probably finish it this week and then we'll start trying to figure out the spoiler cast.
Super interested at this point to see where they're going to go with the next one.
Yeah.
Like I am very, very interested. Very curious.
Yeah.
The franchise is an interesting place.
It is. It is indeed. And there's also a fan fest at the end of this month for 14.
How long is that going to be, by the way?
Fan fest?
No. When Final Fantasy 17. They usually are what, 3 to 5 years apart? Something like that?
They're pretty, yeah. It depends on so much. It really does. I would say that's probably a safe bet is 3 to 5 years. Yeah. Potentially
wow, 15 was 7 years ago?
15 had so many fucking issues though.
That's true.
Like
Yeah.
it was the
true.
engine had issues and it was just all over the place. There was like 4 games announced for like 15 right when it was just all over the place.
That's kind of messy.
I think that's it in terms of like quote unquote gaming news. Did either of you sign up for Threads? Do you have a Threads? A Thread account?
I
Not
went
yet.
through my Instagram.
Are you threaded? I don't know what the term is. I don't know what the verb is
I
for
don't
that.
have an Instagram account. So
Yeah.
and I don't own Co-Carnage on Instagram. So I just
Got it.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't follow anyone on Instagram. I don't use Instagram. So like for me, it's like people kept telling me like, why do you have one? It's so easy. I'm like, because I'd have to set up an Instagram
Yeah,
account.
calm it down there, Zuck. Like shut
I know. For me, it's a bit more than that, and I just don't have an urge or really want. I heard a lot of people saying like you can't curating your timeline is weird.
It's a little
and,
weird,
like,
yeah.
There's just a lot of there's a lot of not. It's not a direct Twitter replacement. It's a different thing. So I don't know. Maybe I'll make one day, but I'm certainly not in a rush.
Yeah. It for me it was a weird experience of I don't know what the adjective or the descriptor for it would be. But it was a something when like it got announced on Thursday, I think. And all the content creators, all the influencers as it were, went over there and without even like announcing that they were on it, had like 100,000 followers in minutes.
Well, okay. So here's the thing: if you had an Instagram account,
It
'cause I looked
carried
into this.
over, yeah.
If you had an Instagram account and you made a Threads account, then it would ping all of your Instagram followers, "Hey, this dude's on Threads now."
Oh,
So
okay.
they've connected all of their.
I didn't
their
realize
networks.
it pinged.
Yeah. So it was the kind of thing. It just like, I mean, if you scroll through Twitter now, you can sub to people on Twitter. If you scroll through Twitter and you see somebody sub to someone else's, they'll be like, "Hey, this dude that follows you just subbed to this person."
Yeah.
It's like, but I wasn't following that person. It's just like they're just spider webbing it. So that's why you saw people. The bigger the Instagram, the more basically instant followers they get making Threads.
Yeah.
That's why it was a little disingenuous of Zuckerberg to be like, yeah, we've got 70 million users in 3 days. It's like, yeah, because you're flagging every single person that uses your other networks to like, it's not really the same as like,
at that level, it's like a dick
relative,
measuring
man.
contest.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just
It's
stupid
kind of
shit.
weird. It's kind of weird.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
of course, he's just saying that to piss off Elon, who has now called him a cuck publicly as
Oh,
of about an hour
boy.
ago. Yeah, so they're you know having their little
boy.
I just saw a
billionaire penis
retweet
measuring
of that
contest.
picture. I honestly thought that was a joke. He actually did that shit because I won't go to his.
I don't
page.
know. Maybe it was a troll. You know what? It's probably an AI generated tweet, and I fell for it.
Okay.
Deep fake.
Didn't he?
I think it was. But knowing Elon, he probably. Hold on. Now I'm curious.
I got to
Let me
Google too because I saw something before
Hold
I
on.
say what it was. He has like a go-to name calling thing that he. he throws
Elon
at people.
replies, Zuck is a cuck on his official Elon Twitter. So what happens is somebody posted a screenshot of apparently he is Zuck on Threads.
Yeah.
And Wendy's said, hey, Zuck, you should go to space just to really make him mad, lol. And Zuck then replied with a laughing emoji. So then Elon replied to that saying, Zuck is a cuck. And this is the world we live in.
Oh man. Okay.
I love it personally.
This is a weird timeline, isn't it? It's a little weird.
It's so weird. It's such a weird thing. Watching billionaires fling shit and talking.
And if you
about
are
it
saying based to any of the things I just said, you are part of the problem.
Oh God, what a mess. Yeah, I have a Threads, I guess is what you're supposed to say. I also have a Blue Sky, and I was just sitting there 2 or 3 nights ago, and I had one of those like out of body moments where I'm sitting there staring at the lake, watching a bunch of boats go by, and I'm just like, I don't fucking care anymore.
Dude, I'm sorry. Were you reading my Twitter?
No, is that what you said?
I think it was last night or the night before. I was doing the exact same thing. I was looking at Blue Sky. I was looking at people tweeting at me to make threads so they could follow me there. And I was just sitting there and I was like, I don't know if I care enough to like do one of these. I don't want to rebuild. I don't want to have to like figure out who to follow on there. I don't want to have to then monitor that and this and like
they need a social.
I just don't care.
Here it
They need a
is.
social aggregator is what they need.
They need
That's what
someone. Here's a $1 billion idea. Make an app that is a intermediary app so that I can go from Twitter and it'll collect everyone on Threads or any other social media I want to go to and just follows the exact same people,
Dude,
and ports everything over. And it's just this one fucking click. And that's make it social media for boomers.
and it completely one up that. Make it so you can post in that app and it posts that
just
to
goes
all
to
the different
everything.
social medias.
Yeah.
Yep. And so you don't have to worry about any of that stuff.
It's
Even more points if you can aggregate timelines of people you follow into one thing. Like
someone just blew my
there's
mind.
no question they're making this already.
Someone just blew my mind. It's basically Trillion for social media. You remember Trillion?
Oh yeah. Trillion was awesome.
Trillion
dude.
was fucking incredible. Yeah,
Trillion
just
was freaking awesome. Bring that back for
Trillion
social
back.
media. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I can have all my
Wait.
messaging systems in one.
So
app.
Trillion, for those who don't know, was amazing because back in the day, just like we're seeing with social media, that happened with basically like chat clients. So there was ICQ, there was AIM, there was MSN Messenger, there were all these different things. So this company named Trillion came along and they were like, okay, you sign into Trillion and then you connect all of your different messaging apps to Trillion. And then they'll all show up in the same list, just with a little icon next to them saying which one they're on. And you can just click on any of them and chat to them. And it was amazing.
It was
and
great.
It was awesome.
It was fantastic.
So yeah,
Had a
of course, as
skin
somebody just
system.
pointed out today, all the companies are working actively against that kind of thing with
Yeah.
these new API fees that they're coming out with. So
Yeah.
like any company that did that would have to pay thousands and tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands to be able to use all the API calls. And then that means that app would have to make money. So that means it'd have to have ads, or you'd have to buy.
Here come
it.
the ads.
Or yeah, exactly. So
Let's throw some ads. On
not
that.
really super feasible, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's our Threads, Twitter.
I just squat.
conversation.
I just every time that like a new one comes up, I just go over there and squat, make
get
one
your
post,
name.
and say like, just go to my Twitter, dude. I'm not gonna post here.
Yeah.
check me out on Twitter.
That's smart.
Yeah,
That's-
check me
that's
out
the way to
on
do it.
Mastodon, Threads, and Blue Sky,
Blue Sky.
and what was the other one? What was the other one that was recent? I
Mastodon.
squatted there too.
Mastodon.
No, not Mastodon. The
Threads, Twitter, Mastodon,
Hive.
Blue Sky. Oh,
Hive. There we go. There we go.
Hive.
That was a flash in the pan, wasn't it? Oh man,
Yeah.
that came and left like instantly.
The
Wow.
5 people watching still on Hiver. They're going to buzz about it.
They're
I
going
don't know.
bonkers
What do you
right now.
do on Hive? Like everything's got to have a verb now. I don't.
they're gonna leave a honey butt. I think that would be a great word for their
They should have
tweet.
called them. If they called them honey butts, I might actually be using Hive right now.
I think. Yeah, I think that wins the
I
social
think there's
media.
a real,
war.
there's a real chance there. I'm gonna go post a honey butt. Beep.
It needs that noise too. Whenever you hit send on honey, but I like Twitter does the little bird noise or whatever. Oh God. All right, I think that's
Wait,
it.
Twitter has noises.
That's it. Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
We
Good
solved
God.
it. You want the next big
Yes.
idea for social media? You call it snoot, and then they're called boops.
You boop it. Oh, when you
You
favorite,
boop on
that's
snoot.
a boop.
That's all you do. You boop. No, you boop on snoot.
Oh,
That's how it works.
Okay.
You boop on snoot. You're
All right.
welcome. Whoever makes millions off that idea, you're welcome.
Dogecoin is the creator of Dogecoin is going to go boop on Snoot. That's going to be
Sniffa.
there.
That's right.
What's a sniffa? Is that a follow? Do you
Sniffa is the best BTG
Sniff-
emote.
sniff?
Oh, a sniff would be a favorite.
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be a
No.
favorite.
Oh, it'd be a favorite. Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure to sniffa and subscribe. What's the subscribe?
Make sure to sniff him a boop. That's right.
This is stupid. What the fuck?
This is so dumb. Oh wow.
We've officially lost.
What
it,
is
guys.
this
This
show
is what you
become?
call vamping for time.
Yes. Yeah. There's no more news. Have you guys played any video games? Do we have a video game to discuss?
Dave the Diver is awesome. Go buy it. For the
Did
love
you
of
finish
God,
it?
just do it.
Is it
No,
over?
I'm playing it right now.
Oh, you haven't beaten it yet?
You see the blue in my glasses? It's the ocean.
I thought isn't it only like 30 hours long?
You can make it as long as you want, man.
Oh, okay.
Game's awesome. Yeah.
I didn't realize it kept going after that. That's a
Yeah,
thing.
it's fantastic. It's so big. It's like there's entire mini games that they only use a single time for one event, and they're like relatively complex just because they can. What they did is they had a dev meeting, and somebody said, "So should we make like a mini game for everything?" And somebody else just did one of those evil like, "Yes, everything." And they did. And there's like mini games all over the place, and they're all great. It's like the Yakuza of pixel art sushi simulators. But yeah, it's amazing, and I can't recommend it enough, and it's great. And I'm gonna be playing it in the cozy tonight with whiskey.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Whiskey and smoker. You got
Whiskey
a
and smoker.
smoker.
That's right. Yeah, I got
Yeah.
a smoker now.
Yeah. That's
be good.
that. Zeke, what's been your what's on your channel lately? What have you been gaming on? Any big things?
Well, I did finally. I had a backlog of things that I've been wanting to check out, so I'm trying to rattle through those. I did get to Amnesia the Bunker.
Is that any
Hey,
good?
what do you think?
Yeah, that one is a game that I would definitely say like get it on Game Pass because it's pretty spendy for how long the game lasts.
You beat it?
Yes, I did. And,
How about that
like
final
and even
boss?
even me beat it. I know, like I beat it in 8 hours, which is crazy. I never beat games in a one sitting. But yeah, I pushed through the end. I went a little bit longer than I normally go, but I felt like I was close to the end. The final boss. How did I feel about it? I'm not sure what you're getting at.
Okay.
Like you
Never
could
mind
mean a
then.
couple of things because I got to,
I
I got
found
to a
it,
thing and it was a tricky thing and I tricked it and I did a thing and then I got a thing. Then I left.
I found it relatively lackluster for the.
Yeah.
That was just me personally, but overall, did you think it was like a good Amnesia
Yes.
game?
No, I would agree with that. Relatively lackluster. But the game in and of itself was fine. There was a couple of annoying things. The fact that you had to go back to one specific area every time you wanted to save the game. Ugh, that was annoying. The fact that like you put like gas in a generator in a bunker. It's a World War I bunker. You put gas in a generator. and you fire up the generator and the lights come on, and the lights, protect you from what's out there. And it lasts for like it lasts so little amount of time. You're just like, I'll just wander around in the dark, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like it wasn't bad actually. Like I enjoyed the way that they kept you like, okay, you have to go to this area now. Oh, you got this little piece of information, and that information says you got to go see, Captain Chuck over here to get the key to this thing. And then Captain Chuck leaves you a note that's like, no, I gave it to Billy. Corporal Billy has it, and you're like, fucking Corporal Billy, always taking shit. And you go find Corporal Billy leaves you a key and a note that says, this key unlocks this place, but I left it over there. Like, God damn you. So I didn't actually mind that. There was a lot of, moving back and forth and like, having to go to one place, from one place to the other.
Was it
But I
scary?
like
Fucking Billy, man.
it can be.
Yeah. Good answer.
It can be very tense at times.
Yeah.
Because part of the mechanic is the lights keep you safe from the thing, and the thing, you can hear the thing. Like when it's close coming or close to you or whatever, you hear the thing, and it gets like, more and more tense when you're just like, and everything you do makes noise, and noise attracts things. And it gave me a game that did this way better, but this one was still pretty good, is Alien Isolation. It's similar to that feeling, except
Agreed.
Alien Isolation was way more terrifying.
Yeah. Huh. Okay.
The thing, like, I don't. Have we talked about the bunker before? I think so. I may be rehashing a bit here.
I don't know if we
but
have.
the thing-
I think this is the first time.
The
But go
thing
ahead.
with this game is like, I love Amnesia games. I really liked this game, but I definitely felt like the type of game Amnesia is for me works in a much better framework when it's linear and you're constantly moving through new areas and like you never know what's around the corner. And the problem with the bunker was you're kind of always going around the same areas and you're constantly having to run back to this area like the whole game. And that kind of, when you run through the same area for like the 10th time in a horror game, it gets significantly less scary. It's just like the whole thing kind of like that whole feeling doesn't really keep you, you don't stay tense, And for me, I was actually the opposite of Zeke, funny enough. I got a huge amount of fuel. I figured out how to keep getting fuel. And I got to the point where like my lights run all the time. And the other thing that I didn't really like about it is the whole premise.
Is it because I didn't go to the fuel dump?
Probably, yes.
Because
The fuel dump is
there was
huge.
one area of the game I avoided, and that was it. Or I didn't avoid it, but I didn't clear it out or whatever.
And another thing about this game that I didn't really like is one thing about horror games that I love so much is the immersion of them is going slowly and listening to every sound effect and, cautiously going into rooms and around areas and looking around at everything you're seeing to really experience them, which you do in the other Amnesia games. But this game makes you feel the opposite, where you fill up the generator and then you're like, okay, I gotta go as fast as I can. I gotta go to this place, gotta go to this place, gotta get this done because my generator's running low on fuel. Like it's more frantic. And I think that for some people, I think that makes it scarier because they feel like they need to move quick or the monster's going to get them. But for me, it did the opposite. It made it a far less immersive and much more about just do the thing, get the item, get the goal. And it didn't really work as well for me. Yeah.
Okay.
So I definitely prefer, I had fun with this game. It was more Amnesia. It was cool, but I definitely liked the other ones more.
And this is on Game Pass, you said? That's the best place
Yes.
to play it? What's it cost
is
not
definitely
Game Pass?
25. I think. Let me make sure. Yeah, $24.99.
Okay.
And that's a bit high for
Yeah, I
8-hour
saw
experience.
10 VODs for Co, so that was a 6-hour-ish experience for him. Yeah. Pretty short, for sure. How much of this here's a harder question.
Here,
well, go ahead and then I'll ask the harder question.
I was gonna say the kind of gotcha here is that they say they said that it was short because the game is procedural, where a lot of the loot and codes and numbers and stuff change around.
Oh.
But the problem is none of that stuff like makes me want to play it again. So it's like it's still all the same areas, it's still the same monster, it's still the same story. Like there's not like
To call it procedural, I think is misleading. It is randomized.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I think they may actually use the term randomized. I'm not sure what term they use, but
Okay.
I had no urge to play it again.
I wasn't
when was
saying
done.
you were misleading. I heard the same thing. Like,
Gotcha.
Here's the harder question I wanted to ask the two of you. How much of this game and kind of the franchise is just coasting on that first game success at this point?
Now, here's the thing. It's interesting that you say that because I will say that the devs absolutely took a risk with this. They did change up the base formula. They are trying to push forward.
Yeah.
They're trying to add new mechanics. And I mean, this is arguably a new gameplay loop in a lot of ways. So it's clearly them making an effort. I will say, though, the last Amnesia game I found like significantly more enjoying. The one where you like go to crazy locations and they actually like try to put, some concreteness into their story and world and stuff. I find that like fascinatingly cool.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because I like the setting more, but yeah, I mean, they are trying to push it forward. They didn't just make another Amnesia game. Like this is definitely a new take on Amnesia. So
Yeah.
credit where it's due.
Zeke, for you, same answer. You played, I think, almost all of them.
I let me see. Let me just make sure that I'm not telling tales out of school here, because
There's the first one. There's Machine for Pigs. which
Amnesia,
was
The
Amnesia
Bunker, Rebirth.
2. Rebirth. That's third.
Yep, Machine for Pigs and The Dark Descent, which is the first one, right?
Yeah.
Dark Descent's the first
let's
one.
see.
Machines for Pigs was the not so great second one, and Rebirth was the very strange one
Third.
before Bunker.
It's weird. I have 12 around 12 hours in the first game and 8 hours in Bunker, but I have Machine for Pigs and Rebirth, but I'm wondering if I played them on a different platform than Steam.
Did you play Rebirth?
I'm not sure if I played either of those, Machine for Pigs or Rebirth.
Really?
I might not have.
Rebirth is
I don't
an
know.
experience. Yeah, Rebirth kind of goes off the rails a little bit in terms of Amnesia
good
rails,
way?
if there are any. I loved it. Personally, I thought it was fantastic. But I also like weird things.
Okay.
So,
I too like weird things.
yeah.
Great. Glad we got that covered.
JP, do you like weird things?
You like weird things? I'm kind of curious.
No,
What
I'm
is
kind
in,
of I'm kind of vanilla. I keep it normal
Yeah.
over here. Yeah.
Keeping it basic.
Yeah. Basic bitch JP.
All right.
That's what they called me.
basic bitch
All right.
JP. There we go. Funny enough, his new thread.
I wasn't gonna say bitch. I wasn't gonna say bitch, but
I think if you say basic, it's implied that you're also calling someone a basic
Is
bitch.
it called Amnesia
Is it?
Rebirth? Why don't
I
I
don't
see
know.
Amnesia
Yeah.
Rebirth on Steam?
yeah, Amnesia.
Oh,
Rebirth.
hold on. It must have like an adult tag on it. Yep, it does.
Oh, you can't. Parental controls.
Hey, I learned the hard way because I bring up my Steam on stream sometimes.
You get
Yeah, I learned
gifted
the
a lot
hard
of
way.
those.
You learned the
my
hard
frickin-
way. Did you get a
fun
3-day
games.
vacation?
My
Oh,
freaking mod Sayori ruined my
Sayori.
Steam
Yeah, yeah,
account.
yeah.
He
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
ruined my Steam account.
send you
Yeah.
all the
Mostly
good stuff.
positive with 6,200 votes for
Okay.
Amnesia Rebirth. 77%. That's not bad.
Not too bad. I know both of you went back and played more of this because you brought it up, Zeke, and influenced the hell out of us last week.
Mars.
Yeah, Mars First Logistics. You guys both spent more time in it. Is the good keep goodin'? Is that what
it's
one
great.
could say? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm planning on playing that game when it comes out for sure.
Oh, it's early access. It's not out.
I think it's early access, isn't it?
Yes, it is still in early access. I got
I thought it was
to
out for some reason.
the end of the main there's side missions and main missions. I did all of the main missions that were available in early access. And it was about looks like 17, 18 hours, something like that,
Cool.
to do all those. And it was what did you think, Ho? Did you love it?
I had a great time with it. I played it while drinking, which made it even more enjoyable. There were parts of it that were a little frustrating, especially the building part was phenomenally fun. I loved that. The transporting part can get a little finicky at times.
Oh yes.
But I did have a great time with it. I'm probably going to return to it at a later date as well. And it's a very unique joy of a game.
There are a couple of things that I would definitely like to see in the future for this game. If I'm going to pick it up again.
Yeah.
In the build scene, like in the build screen. You press I think V to go into the build screen. You gotta let me zoom out just a fucking little bit more, man. Just a little bit more, especially with that big guy that scoops underneath. You don't like let me zoom out a little bit more on that screen because holy shit, you're right in there. So just back it up. The other thing I would like, this might be something they do on purpose, but when you're connecting, like if you can save a piece, so like if you have like an arm that's coming off that like it has a grabber on it or whatever, you can press copy at the joint and then remove it, and then you have that in your copy, your notepad, right? So you can put that anywhere you want. What I want is a way for you to attach the thing, like how you want to attach it. And what I mean by that is you have two 6-sided squares with attachments on all 6 sides. That's the basic building block of this game. So picture like 6-sided dice, and on every side you can attach them. You can't pick the way like it's attached to each other. So like if you're attaching it to this, you can attach it on, all the sides and stuff, but you can rotate it one way, but you can't, it's not customizable enough as far as how you attach things together.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and I agree.
Yes.
Yep.
It's hard to explain because like until you're faced with trying to attach something, like why can't I just turn this 90 degrees and attach it like that? And you can't. It's frustrating.
Okay.
But you learn to live with it, You learn to get by with that kind of limitation in it. Oh, and this is the you're seeing the last, I think this was the last main mission.
Close to it on the VOD, yeah.
Butterfly. You got to catch a butterfly on Mars.
Oh wow,
I'm making a butterfly catcher grabber cage thingamabob.
Great.
But yeah, it's a fantastic game. Like if you like, you build a rover and try to transport weird shit, and that's kind of like the thing that's on the box. It's like the idea is this shit is awkward to transport from one place to the other, so you got to build something that makes it less awkward. Hopefully, the hardest thing for me. Did you get to the tanker, Co?
I don't think so.
The big,
I did like
the big,
8 or 9 missions.
the fuel
I didn't
tank.
do a lot.
Okay,
I don't think so. Yeah.
The fuel tank was by far the hardest for me to get from one place to the other. It's just big, oblong, heavy, and they give you what like the most optimal thing a lot of times in the game to transport the thing you just got done hauling. They give it to you as a reward. It's just a kick in the balls. It's like, I just took this tank awkwardly from this place with like a claw and like something holding it down. And then they're like, here's the tanker build. You're like, you sons of bitches.
Pretty much.
Sounds like what you want out of this type of game. At least I do. Yeah. I haven't played it yet. I'm saving it for Puzzler Day. I said this last week, but my biggest issue so far, having not played it, is I think the name fucking sucks. Just like
Mars First Logistics.
I really just think it's a bad. It's not catchy. Like it just.
That's fair.
Yep.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the name, but I am excited to play it. I think it's going to be a fun time.
You must probably not like Kerbal Space Program then.
In terms of the name.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think that I don't dislike it. I think that like because most people just say Kerbal, right? Like Kerbal
You can't really call it just Mars.
You can't just call it Mars. You can't call it MFL.
And MFL is a little strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's
That's
like 3 not distinct enough. And now the question is like, well, what would you name it? I don't fucking know. Not this. That's
Mars Connects.
Yeah, maybe go buy the Connects IP. Throw that on here.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't even. Who even owns Connects? Co, you buy Connects for your kids. Who owns Connects? Is that Lego owned?
Isn't it Lego? I want to say it's Lego.
Lego probably
wrong,
owns all of that.
You
shit.
might own it. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of Lego. Cool.
Mars Stranding. Yeah, that
works.
Mars Stranding.
Mars Stranding.
dude, there was a lot of times when I felt like
Laughs in
I'll be honest
Kojima.
with you, because some of the terrain and the city you have to go over, like, if you want the shortest path, it's gonna be terrible. If you want the safest path, it's gonna be long. So make your choice. If you make the shortest point, or the straight line, you're gonna go over some debris, and like, oh god, it's so frustrating. And it reminded me of how bad I hated the driving in Death Stranding. How unfun they made a seemingly fun vehicle.
Yeah. Chad saying basic fun! ! Owns Connects. Never heard of them. Never heard of them.
No idea.
So I can't call them Connects then.
I guess not. Yeah. Unless you get you reach out to them, do a little licensing. I saw you played a little bit more Only Up, Zeke. How's that thing? Is Only Up?
It's terrible.
Is that fad over on Twitch, or is it still?
I don't think so yet.
It's still going. Okay.
I think it's on the decline. It's on the downward trajectory, but there's still quite a few people playing it, I'm sure.
Great.
Like every time I go in the directory, it actually, the category actually shows you now how many people are playing the game.
Yeah.
Looks like 21,000 viewers right now, so like it's not nothing.
Still doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Co, are you ever gonna
I-
play this? By the way, my viewers might force me to play this, but
No play right now.
go ahead, Zeke.
It's terrible. It's a terribly made game, but it's just made just well enough that you feel like you can progress. I feel like every time I fall down, I can get back to at least the place I was before within a reasonable amount of time. But once I fall to a certain point, I Alt F4 and put it away, because I am not in the mood to go back and do this fucking thing again, or the pipes, or certain areas. Like, I don't want to suffer through it.
I'm Chad was saying
Still not as bad as Getting Over It, though. Getting Over It is the worst fucking game of all time.
I
you
would
can
say
take
it
that
could
in
be,
the
I think it could be like Game of the Year material, really.
I think it might be for some people, some weird people. You do like weird things, JP.
I like things. What's it called when you you enjoy things? A contrarian. That's what I am sometimes. Yeah, at least in that day and age, I think I was contrarian. This game got removed from Steam. Due to
For a little bit, yeah.
Oh, it's back. Okay, it got removed for stolen assets.
AI crackdown, I heard.
Oh. This comment is saying yesterday the game was updated to swap out the section with the giant girl. It was removed and replaced with a statue of Atlas holding the earth. The word at the time is that the giant girl was a stolen asset.
Yeah.
I mean, that game's just an asset dump to create a long thing to climb. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's a little.
yeah.
It's also the kid used to have an NFT on his shirt and stuff.
Wait, really? Like an actual NFT, or just like a meme?
Oh no, like I don't know. I didn't look
Okay.
into it any deeper. I heard NFT and I just rolled my eyes and moved on.
Weird. Okay. Well, that's that. That's Only Up. How far have you gotten, by the way? What's your? I don't know how. I don't know why. Because I'm asking you this because it's not going to mean anything to me. But how far have you gotten?
Yeah, people who know. I got past the mall, past the cop cars. Do you know? Like, you guys know when I fell? Like, what I fall on?
No,
it doesn't seem that hard. No, it doesn't seem that hard, Gold Snake. That's the beauty of this. It doesn't seem that hard until you're playing it, because it's hard to explain controls when you're not like controlling it.
Yeah.
It's unpredictable at times. It's floaty. It's not precise. It's like jumps you make 10 times in a row, you'll miss it the 11th time and not fucking have an explanation as to why. Some of the collision and physics are bad.
Because you're bad.
No, I know.
The game will tell you as such, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
that is quite possible as well. But it had mixed reviews on Steam for a very long time for the exact reason that I'm telling you, because the controls are jank as fuck. But like I said, it's overcomable enough to keep you playing. Comable. Anyway,
Great.
I forget I'm not on my.
I have to say it's kind of funny these days where games like this are like poorly designed, they're clunky, they don't feel good, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's exactly how it's supposed to be because it's supposed to be hard."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
That's the thing. Yeah.
it's supposed to be terrible, and that's why it's amazing.
It's the
Meanwhile, devs and other games are like, "Why did they say that about my game? That's clunky and weird and bad."
Well, here's the thing: like,
It's supposed to be hard.
Like, there are corrected comparisons, like, or justifiable comparisons to make between stuff like this and like Alt F4, like Getting Over It. I liked Jump King, and the difference between some of those for me, like I loved Jump King because Jump King, every time I fell down, my fault, the player's fault. When I fall down here, I would say at least 40% of the time it's the game's fault for being jank as shit.
That's what they want you to think, Zeke.
At least that's what I feel like it is.
Yeah. These are all, I mean, it's the YouTube bait, it's the streamer bait, it's all the same. That's all one category now, you know. They're all types of RPGs, Zeke, really, when you get down to it. It's all under the same umbrella, right?
Exactly. This is an RPG. It counts. It counts. You're jumping into the shoes of a small boy who has a fucking depressing life, apparently, because holy shit, some of the fucking like voice lines from this are just brutal. Like right here. It's like, my dad worked at a factory and he beat my mom, but he's dead now, so that's fine. And like, I'm paraphrasing, but it's pretty close to being that fucking cold and brutal.
Jesus.
And you're just like, that fucking comes out of nowhere.
Yeah,
like, I'm playing this like beautiful day. I'm playing this game. It's sun is shining.
That's intense.
Yeah. It's real weird. Like, if I'm not like, if you don't believe me, go like check it out. Check out somebody's stream, and you'll if you hear the dialogue, you'll go, what the fuck? That is way too cold for this type of game.
Cool. That's only up. I'm sure I will be forced to play it, like I said, on Community Week later this month.
Will that be the puzzler taking that on, or that is not a puzzler?
I don't think that'll be a puzzler game.
Puzzle.
Yeah, I think that'll just be community voted if they deem it as such. The puzzler day is going to be Witness. What's it called? Viewfinder. Q Remastered.
When does that?
Viewfinder comes out like the 17th, doesn't it?
The 18th, yeah, 17th or 18th. Talos Principle.
18th, hell yeah.
There's one more there, I think, and then whatever else the chat wants to throw in there. But yeah, I'm kind of excited for Witness, but I wasn't aware of Jonathan Blow's social media. So maybe I'm less excited.
What do
I want? That's like, how much do you want to separate the art from artist?
Yeah, he's go. You can do your own research on that.
Lord.
He just does some silly things. I did play a game while I was on the plane and on the lake. I played a bunch of that Halls of Torment. That game's pretty good. Having only played
awesome.
Brotato and Vampire Survivors is like my auto battlers or whatever you want to call them. Halls of Torment's pretty good. I'm kind of into it. I will most likely put some more hours into that. Harder than the others, I feel. I might also just be bad, but I think it might be harder than the others.
It's cool.
I'm having a harder time like unlocking certain classes, but I think that's the type of thing where you just got to do a bunch of runs and get enough gold to where you can get your base stats up high enough. That's how I'm interpreting it. So yeah, that's on Steam, and what did I pay for it? It's not that pricey.
$4. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, for $4, it's totally fucking good. It looks a little weird on the Steam Deck, to be honest. But because it looks and runs like that, I was able to go a full charge on my Steam Deck from Wednesday to last night without it needing to be charged at all, which is kind of fascinating if you're a Steam Deck owner. That's a lot of time. So That's all I got. That and Final Fantasy, which I'll finish up this week. I'm so curious now with the ending. I've heard so many different for and against on how that game wraps up that now I'm so interested to know what the fuck happens. So most likely start that tomorrow and finish it up maybe Thursday. Not that many games this week. Oxenfree 2. Either of you got to check that out?
I never finished Oxenfree 1, and I don't know why, but it's supposedly like an excellent game.
Yeah, I heard
and
so many good
really
things
wanna
about it.
play
That's why I
that
asked.
before Oxenfree 1. Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe.
Okay. There's also Exo Primal, which is the Capcom Dino
I
hunting
might
game.
check that one out.
It's on the
Yeah.
14th. Yeah, I might check that out. Jagged Alliance 3, which is the, I don't want to say XCOM-ish, but it paints a very quick picture in people's minds.
Turn-based combat one.
Yeah.
It's Jagged Alliance is a very old established franchise.
Yeah, that's out the 14th as well.
I'm planning on checking that one out.
And I think that's it. There's another Gravity Circuit, which I don't know what that is. The Black Desert update or DLC expansion, Land of the Morning Light, is coming out. And another game called Coreborn, Nations of Ultra Core. But that's on the 18th, same day as Viewfinder.
Cool.
July's pretty backloaded in terms of big releases. Remnant 2 on the 25th. Expanse Telltale series on the 27th. Deadlink. Ratchet and Clank comes out on PC. That game's probably going to be pretty good looking. I actually might grab that just to see what it looks like, because that game was drop dead gorgeous on the PS5. So I might
Was
jump into
that was only PS5, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
That did you ever play that, Zeke? If not, you should grab it
Yeah.
just to play it. Oh, you did. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
the
good game.
newest one, right? The PS5 version or PS5 one? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like that was on my top 10, I think, that year.
Cool. Let's wrap. Let's call it a show. Zeke, start us off. What do you got going on?
Okay. Oh, I forgot to talk about Sly Cooper. Oh, Sly Cooper's great. It's a great game. I loved it. That's it. Anyways, hi everybody. My name is Ezekiel the Third. You can find me @Ezekiel_III on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, and Ezekiel the Third, all spelled out, on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Hive, Mastodon, OnlyFans, No, that's Masturbate. That's not screen name. Anyways, I'm pretty much Ezekiel that, or the Third, all spelled out, like on most shit. Anyways,
Great.
I'm rambling. Thank you for watching. I broadcast usually every day at 10 a.m. Pacific. I think on Tuesday I am. Oh fuck! I still haven't decided yet. I don't know what I'm playing on Tuesday. No idea. I'm gonna start a new game, but I don't know what it is yet. So if you want to find out, follow my Twitter. If you don't, I guess that's cool too. Thanks for watching.
Go. What do you got going on?
Hi, as always, big thanks to JP and Zeke. It was a lot of fun this week. My name is Ko. Hello. I'm playing Remnant 1 right now during the day. We're going to be doing a big playthrough of that to get all caught up with the lore and everything for Remnant 2 later this month. We're going to be playing Jagged Alliance. We're going to be checking out Exoprimal. I'm currently going to be playing Dave the Diver this evening with a little bit of whiskey. We'll be hanging out and doing that. So it should be fun. Hopefully you will stop by and say hello. And if you don't, I will see you next week for more Drop Frames.
Cool. Next week, in terms of upcoming guests, we are going to try to get Sven on from Larian. That's just got to be figured out. Next week probably makes the most sense for all parties involved.
How cool of him to have time to do that, like the month before his major game releases.
The month of.
What
really.
a boss.
Yeah.
You said that, and I was just like, really?
Yeah.
Like, that's insane, dude.
We also,
Actually insane.
I've been talking with Force Strategy, who's a big YouTuber. We'll have him on at some point. And then Tom from Twitch, who is the head.
I think he was the
product
guy
guy?
on stage when we were looking at the stories.
Yes. Yeah, that's correct. We'll have him on to pick his brain on Twitch and products at Twitch on all that stuff. No dates on any of that just yet. That was the best I could do is get it confirmed and then put my phone away while I was on vacation. So I'll get those dates.
Good for you.
Yeah, I'll get those dates locked in.
That's awesome.
I'll get the dates locked in sometime this week. So that's it. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Drop Frames. Bot will be up, youtube.com/itmeJP. Go drop a sub over there. Have a good one. We're out of here. Bye-bye.